The head of the UN's nuclear watchdog agency says Iran is removing 27 surveillance cameras from nuclear sites around the country. Iran has said nothing about the move, which the UN's nuclear official describes as a serious challenge. Once again on Wall Street, S&P futures are down 15 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope it's a good one for you.
Almost there.
It is weekend adjacent.
Yes. Taste it.
Yeah.
Just reach out and donkey lip the weekend.
Speaking of weekend, I saw a guy cook something on Facebook a few minutes ago.
Okay.
It's very summer-esque.
Right.
You know the Flamin' Hot Cheetos, Mountain Dew?
Yeah. Well, it's not Flamin' Hot Cheetos. It's just Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. If you're going to come into this court, you come correct.
So what a guy did was he made lollipop chicken. You know, like when you take drumsticks and lollipop.
You slice them, and that's like a new TikTok trend. Everybody's been doing that.
Well, it's not new. It's been around for.
Well, yeah, it's been around, but it's now coming back around for the TikTok generation.
Millennials just realized it's around, and now they're doing 20 TikTok videos about it. But in competitive barbecue eating, lollipop and drumsticks is many.
I've never had one. I genuinely want to try it because it looks amazing.
It's just chicken. They just
but it looks like it takes all the best parts of the chicken and gets rid of that part where I have to like chew the sinew off the bone, feel like a savage.
It is a fancier way to eat a chicken drumstick. However, what the summer reference to this guy?
It's actually kind of dystopian if you think about it. Yeah. We're like, not only are we going to cook you, not only are we going to eat you, we're going to use your bones as a little toothpick to hold your meat while we dine on it. That's incredibly dark.
America.
I'm saying.
But anyway.
Never been prouder.
So this guy took Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Okay.
And he made like a fried, like a smoked chicken, but he used that as the crust or whatever.
So he rolled these lollipop chicken, I'm guessing batter dipped them maybe or
yeah, so what he did was he used the Flaming Hot Mountain Dew.
Okay.
And then he used the Cheetos and he made the Cheetos into a dust. And then he took the Mountain Dew and mixed it with some other spices and some things and then used that as the batter. He dipped in the Mountain Dew and then dipped it in the Cheetos and then he smoked them in the grill.
Gotcha.
And
that actually sounds delightful.
It looked good. I don't know that the fact
that Mountain Dew really
the hot
does.
Cheeto Mountain Dew is not my thing.
The amount of acid reflux that I feel like would come off of that experience is overwhelming.
Yeah. But it sounds like a fun summer thing to try.
Sure, I'd try it. The only thing I would have done different, and this is because I watch a lot of Mythical Kitchen, and I see like that they just do weird stuff like this all the time. I would have taken the Flaming Hot Mountain Dew and put it on the stove, reduced it to a syrup.
And that's kind of what he did.
And then like mix that in like down and then use that as like a dip for afterwards.
Oh, see, he reduced it down to syrup.
As like a garnish. Put like some chopped green onions on top, maybe like some cilantro, mix that in with it, and then like reduce it down.
Yeah.
And get like a decent, like almost like, I don't know, chili glaze.
And he kind of did that with the batter. Like he poured the soda and the various spices and cooked it to a caramelized goo, and then dipped it in there.
Sounds delightful. Love caramelized goo.
I think I should start that product, caramelized goo, and it's just like available on shelves, and you could use it for whatever. You know, could be a delicious salad dressing, or perhaps a hair tonic.
So many uses. Who knew?
Well, happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes.
And hope you're having a wonderful day today. Let me give you the rundown real quick before we start going down some kind of rabbit hole. We're going to replay a couple interviews today, this hour. I figured I wanted to play this just because I didn't get a chance to. I don't think I played this in the 7 o'clock. I don't want to spotlight these kids. But about 2 weeks ago, John Thosen with the Chaves County 4-H joined us, and he brought in some of the 4-H shooting sports students, and they won
full house that day,
state championship in pistol, and they had a great time. And I wanted to, give those kids a little bit more shine. So we're going to play that interview today.
Was it one of the kids or one of the coaches that just had just a super on personality? Like I was noticing a lot of them were just like, yes sir, yes sir. And then there was somebody that was just like going back and forth. I was like, all right, we need to
kids will talk.
Reach out and get this kid a card.
I got him. I got him to share a little bit. But I had a great conversation with those young lads, and so we'll play that for you here in just a little bit.
Yeah, you know that you're going to keep the conversation above board because they're all packing.
That's right.
Make sure this conversation goes the way we want it to.
Well, well, after what's on TV tonight, and I think we need some good stuff. So I think let's talk about these kids and stuff. After pretty much not going to everything on TV tonight is going to be all the January 6th stuff. So let's get something fun.
yeah, it's not going to be.
Before we get into that,
not going to be a blast.
In the 8 o'clock hour, Mayor Tim Jennings is going to join us. Tonight is City Council meeting, so he's going to join us to preview what's on tap for tonight's City Council meeting. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview we had yesterday with the ladies from the Chaves County Republican Women. Joined us the day after the primary, so now it's rally around the troops, around the Republican candidates. But just talking about getting out and coming out to their next meetings between now and general election to listen to more candidates and hear so you can formulate your opinions and choose the people that align best with your ideologies here in the general election. So we're going to play that for you about 9:15.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm caught up on Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, I'm not quite caught up.
There's
yet.
4 episodes out.
They're 4 deep already.
They're 4 deep. They released 2
right
initially, and then in the last 2 weeks they put out 2 more.
Okay.
So I've watched episode 4 yesterday.
Okay.
I'm liking this show, man.
Yeah. Well, and everything I saw from it, I really liked it too. I love the fact they got Ewan McGregor back for for Obi-Wan. It genuinely intrigues me. I mean, I'm in.
Well, it's and for Star Wars fans or passersby that have not seen this yet.
I was a little worried that Favreau wasn't involved.
Is he not involved?
He's not
in this at all?
In this one. No.
Okay.
This one isn't necessarily like his bag. His stuff is more like the Mandalorian stuff. I think that this is more like traditional Star Wars storytelling.
A little bit, but it kind of ties both together, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it's because if in the timeline of Star Wars, the Obi-Wan Kenobi takes place 10 years after Episode 3.
Okay.
So this is Episode 3, the one where Anakin becomes Darth Vader.
Right.
That one. The timeline for Obi-Wan is 10 years after that. So Leia and Luke are like 10-year-old children.
Right. I remember seeing little Leia.
Maybe
in the
11.
First
Maybe 11, I guess. Well, Anakin would be a little older, so he's probably. I mean, not Anakin. Luke. No, they're probably about 11. So it's about 10 years later. So I think the kids are about 11 in here, Luke and Leia. And of course, this one is dealing mostly with Obi-Wan helping Leia in this one. So it's interesting. I don't want to say too much without giving all the story away, but that's kind of the premise of it. So if you're a Star Wars fan, you like the old stuff, the original 6, 7, and 8. Is that right? Yeah, 6, 7, 8. then this follows more in those.
Okay. And see, I think that's why I'm saying this. And I looked it up. It's actually somebody named Deborah Chow, who was an executive or was a producer on The Mandalorian and actually learned from Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Okay.
Went on to is now the executive producer of this show. But this is more in the actual original Star Wars story canon. So I feel like this is going to follow more along the lines of that. They don't really require a Favreau style director, whereas The Mandalorian is basically telling a whole new story from scratch. So you need somebody with the vision of a Dave Filoni, of a Jon Favreau, that's going to be able to come in and kind of direct it in a certain direction. Mm-hmm. This one you got Lucas and you got the lore.
And I agree with you on that for the most part. Mm-hmm. However, I would also add another layer to that, saying that Obi-Wan blends both, because there's a lot of new story and new lore in this that they don't really cover in the movies. Like after once Darth Vader takes over, basically they have these Inquisitors that go on this purge to go and eliminate the universe of Jedi. Mm-hmm. And so that's part in this too, and that's not really in the Star Wars original 3 story. So it's taken that stuff, which I kind of compared to the Mandalorian type stuff, and then taken the Luke, Leia, and all of that, and Darth Vader, and kind of
merging
tying them together.
Sure, and I like the idea that they are, because this is set obviously a long time before the events of the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
that's set way in the future. So I'm curious to see kind of how those two worlds will collide.
Yeah, because Mandalorian's after Jedi and all that. Yeah, the Darth Vader and that Imperial Alliance has been taken down, and then of course in 7, 8, 9 is when the New Order and all that's taken over, but which is basically rising from the ashes of the Empire. Mm-hmm. For those that have not watched Star Wars or know the thing.
It'd be interesting, and I know we got to go to the interview, but it'd be interesting to see what Jake Lloyd is up to these days. The kid that played Anakin in Episode 1.
The original kid.
Yeah. Well, I know he quit acting after the movie, and he became a dairy farmer. From what I heard.
To be honest. And here's my whole thing with that, and I've said this. That kid's fine. He was a great... I don't like Hayden Christensen as the older...
Yeah. Angsty Darth Vader.
He just doesn't translate to Darth Vader to me. He's like a foot shorter, which... I mean, I get it. Darth Vader's a lot...
the Empire!
I get Darth Vader's like robotic and all that, but why did they make him 3 foot taller? Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
He hit a growth spurt.
Hayden Christensen just was not Anakin to me. He just didn't. I didn't like him.
It was an inadequate Anakin.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
inadequate.
If you will.
All right, it is 7:17. Let's tell you how hot, and maybe we might get more water today. That's what I heard. In the form of rain, allegedly. Allegedly. All right, here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mostly sunny and hot today. Afternoon highs in the upper 90s across the whole area. We may get an afternoon shower around Roswell. Partly cloudy overnight with upper 60s. Heating up a little bit on Friday. We'll be in the low 100s with sunshine, and a little hotter for the upcoming weekend. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 74 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 56%. Winds currently out of the east at 7 miles per hour. As I mentioned earlier, there is a slight chance at some rain today. A 20% chance at some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, mostly sunny for today. 96, still floating just under the century mark today with south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, we're also looking at a 20% chance of showers, mainly before 9 p.m. Mostly cloudy, gradually becoming clear, with an overnight low of 69 degrees and south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, busting right through that century mark. Sunny, hot, 104 the high tomorrow. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 72 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny, hot, 106. South winds 5 to 15. Sunday, sunny, hot, once again, a high of 106. And then we're going to be 100 plus for next week, too. 106 on Monday, 104 on Tuesday, and 101 on Wednesday of next week. So cooler day today, 96 with a slight chance of some rain showers. All right, it is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take about a 3.5-minute commercial break. And then on the other side of the break, we're going to replay our interview we had with John Thosen from the Chaves County 4-H Shooting Sports and some of the students from the shooting sports program that won a state championship not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, up in Albuquerque. So we're going to play that interview for you here in just a few. A little fun time interview. That's up next. Don't go away.
I have a snake for your drain. You might want to step back.
Oh no, baby.
All AC units moke a little. Is normal.
Oh no, baby.
Haha, now your sprinkler system's strong like bull.
Come on now. Don't let any fool work on your plumbing and air conditioning.
Fergalicious.
From clogged drains to sprinkler systems, Fergie's Plumbing and Heating is on the job. And who you gonna call for air filters and spring servicing on your AC unit?
Fergalicious.
Call Fergie's today, 622-2660. Nothing but love.
Fergalicious.
This is a nasty little termite. It loves nothing better than to eat your house, your subfloors, your walls, around your windows. And then they swarm around, taunting you.
We're eating your house. We're eating your house.
You'd like to kill them, wouldn't you? But you don't want trenches dug around your home, and you don't want holes in your foundation. That's where Dow AgroSciences and the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System come to the rescue. The same system that protects the White House can help protect your house. An authorized operator strategically places Centricon stations around your house and then carefully monitors them for termites. If they're found, a professional inserts bait tube devices. The termites take the bait and they die.
I feel like I'm dying.
Kind of like that, only a lot more effective. In fact, Centricon is proven to eliminate the termite colony. Termites are gone with Centricon. No more colony, no more problem. Visit Centricon.com.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of Southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you could call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit NationalGuard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
No, definitely not. That joke would be funnier if you knew what that was. Good morning. It is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, we got our Chaves County 4-H shooting sports guys here. John Thosen, you're the 4-H instructor, right?
Yes, sir.
And, of course, Andrew's with us as well, the 4-H director here. And then we've got some of our champion students here.
Yeah, let me introduce them to you.
Yeah.
This is the Chaves County 4-H State Championship.
Congratulations. All right, who wants
Starting over here with Nathaniel Higgins.
Hi, Nathaniel.
Wyatt Curry.
Hi, Wyatt.
Raiden Melton.
Raiden.
Cooper Campbell.
Hi, Cooper.
I introduced him wrong the other day. I introduced him as his dad. And Ray Melton.
Hi, Ray.
Reese Melton.
Oh, Reese. See, now it's been flipped. That was my fault. Well, he set it up first, so it worked perfectly.
Exactly. Easy segue.
So let's talk a little bit about you guys competed here earlier in May, and I guess that would be the 4-H state championships in the shooting sports division, right?
Yeah, it's held up at Winnington. We had 300 and some odd kids up there. We shot 2 days without any incidents or anything else. We had a great time. The only downfall was the day we had to shoot shotgun. The wind was blowing about 60 miles an hour, I think they said, with gusts of 70.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I guess if you're dusting traps in that kind of wind, then you're pretty good, I'm guessing, right?
Well, they did real well for the conditions. But...
Do they ever? Is there? I'm curious. Is there any condition where they say no? I mean, obviously, if it's thunderstorming and all that, but is there weather elements where they say, you know what, we can't do shotgun because the pigeons just don't fly the right way? Or
yeah, we got to stick with pistol, but. There is. If the wind is blowing in toward you hard enough, we've had to cancel one time since I've been coaching. I've been coaching for several years now. But if the wind blows right in, it'll pick the bird straight up almost and blow it right back at you.
Yeah.
And then if you break it, pieces will hit you. So
yeah, I've had that happen. That's not fun when you get dusted.
Well, like I say, they did good in shotgun, but pistols this is where they shined this year.
Yeah, I think the pistol's got enough velocity to penetrate through the wind there, but the clay pigeons where it gets a little squirrely.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough shooting.
So, well, congratulations. So as far as the champ, did you win like in some of the categories, or is it overall, or is it how does that competition work? Do y'all compete in, like you said, the different categories, and then is it? I guess there's a winners in each category, but is there kind of like a best in show or best overall competitor or team competition?
Well, each county has a team.
Gotcha.
And like I said, there's pistol, shotgun, muzzle loading, hunter, archery, a whole bunch of different disciplines. And we compete against the other counties.
Okay.
But in pistol, we won the first place out
Nice.
of the whole state.
I'm curious. Do you guys do archery too, or is it you just strictly to the guns, the firearm stuff? Or some of you guys compete in archery too?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Cool. I say I'm an archery guy. Matter of fact, I used to, when I was in the Boy Scouts, I'm an Eagle Scout, but I used to work at the summer camp like in my early 20s, like 21. Matter of fact, I was 21, and that was a big significance because I was 21, I can go get my NRA certifications to teach rifle, shotgun, and everything to the Boy Scout camp. So I was 21, so I could be certified to do all that. So, but with all of that, I would teach archery, I'd teach shotgun and rifle. Those were the three things we taught.
All right.
And
familiar with what we're talking about.
Yeah, a little bit. Now it's been a few years since I was in my 20s at Boy Scout camp. I'm just telling you. But,
12 at least.
Right? Yeah, at least a year or two. But I understand, how, is the instruction and all that and just how it goes. But the part that I love about all of that is you really teach them. I mean, most people just know about, shooting guns, but just the breathing, the whole actual mechanics of firing a gun. And I think most people just watch movies and TV and think, pull trigger and there she goes. And no, there's a whole, and obviously you guys know all this, but I love that side of it. And when the first time you set someone a rifle in front of them, it's like, okay, yeah, it's not pulling it. You got to breathe. You got to hold your breath. You got to squeeze the trigger. All the things you guys are being taught. And I love that. And once people kind of get that stuff, so I love what you guys are doing in that stuff, because I think to me that's the fun part of competitive shooting sports. I mean, yeah, all of us, it's fun blowing stuff up. Ain't gonna lie, we're like, that blew up real good. I mean, love it. But the discipline, the actual art of these sports, the archery with shotgun. I mean, shotgun's an art too, but it's more, it's where like all the rifle stuff you've been taught, throw that out the window and go shoot shotgun. It's like, yeah, pull the trigger, you're pointing that thing, you're not aiming any, you know what I mean? It's like the rules are different, but equally disciplined, if that makes sense.
It's quite an accomplishment too, because bullseye, shooting it's a dying sport, unfortunately, because most of the younger kids want action, but it is one of the most complicated and hardest to master skill of pistol shooting, because it's all done one-handed. You know, your slow fire, your blind fire, and your rapid fire.
And probably the least accurate, I mean, shotguns are pointing, but, you know, as far like rifles, we're talking, you know, I got 5 shots in the size of a dime here, or pistols a little bit different to pull that off.
Yeah, and then they shoot a silhouette with a pistol. They shoot up to 100 yards, and that is that's a real challenge, too. So they're actually, for 4-H, they're shooting 2 of the most difficult pistol aspects there are to shoot.
So as far as caliber and stuff, is there a standard caliber you compete with, or do you get to pick whether you want to go with a 9mm or pull out, you know, Dirty Harry's gun here? What you know, is there some parameters on what you can shoot when it comes to pistol and all that?
Yes, sir. The highest we can shoot right now, the standard, it's a 22 caliber pistol.
Okay, very good. Good. Well, and don't people, you know, people like to scoff at 20. I'm like, you better respect that. That's as far as I taught 22 rifle, like I was talking about it earlier, and yeah, that's got a little longer range, but just because it's a smaller caliber, you can do some serious damage with 22 caliber. Don't you? The moment you disrespect that, the moment it's going to bite you in the tail. But anyway, another story, another day. So, but I imagine. But as far as shooting, though, that's probably a little, because obviously a 22 pistol isn't going to push you back 3 feet like Clint Eastwood's gun would, you know. But let me ask you this, because like I said, I don't have a lot of experience teaching pistol. Are some of the mechanics the same as rifle shooting, or is it different? I mean, because obviously you're aiming, so you got to worry about breath control and all that stuff. But is it similar to, you know, as far as the mechanics, or is it way different, guys, that shooting pistol versus rifle?
I think there's some similarities, but also some differences. You know,
okay.
Like how you were saying, controlling your breath.
Yeah.
But which also have to do with the pistol. Make sure you get a good grip on it.
Sure.
Similar sometimes to the rifle, like how you have to put the buttstock in your shoulder correctly.
Sure.
There's some similarities, but also some differences, and it does take some time to learn for sure.
And just for folks that don't know, when we talk about breath control, see, when you're trying to aim that firearm, you know, when you're moving and breathing, you're trying to line up the lollipop, make the lollipop here with the stick and making the dot. And, you know, when you're breathing and if you're holding the pistol out, extending it, guess what? Your arm gets tired, and depending on the caliber of the gun, it might get a little heavy. Next thing you know, it's a lot harder to get a true sight picture if you're not breathing, if you're not holding it correctly. And so that's where we're talking about the actual mechanics of doing it's a little different, but the philosophy is the same.
Yeah, what have I been drilling into you guys here lately, especially last night? What did we talk about?
Trigger control.
Trigger control. Yeah.
Breathing's part of it too, but trigger control.
Yeah. But where these guys are at and where these levels, where when we talk about competition, that's usually the difference between first place and not placing it all, is that slight, I pulled the trigger too much instead of squeezing it slow, or I didn't control my breathing right and it knocked off my sight picture a little
guys,
bit.
he's done this before. You've heard all this, haven't you?
Yeah, I taught some of this stuff too. The conversation I used to love having, and this is where, because it was a scout camp, I dealt with a lot of parents that were also there too. And some of them would be like, "Oh, my boy shooting," and the first lesson I always taught, you know, safety obviously, but when it comes to actual mechanics, is eye dominance and figuring out what your dominant eye is. And every once in a while, I'd run across a person that's right-handed but left eye dominant, and I'm like, "You need to shoot like a lefty," and they're like, "No, my boy's not." It's like, trust me, and I'd have to do the same. I did it like half dozen times. We're like, "All right, you teach your kid with the rifle here. Give him 5 shots, do your thing. Have fun with him, and then give him to me for 10 minutes, and then we'll see what happens."
Especially a shotgun, that's critical. We had a girl that was real stubborn. She was left eye dominant but right-handed, and we tried to get that shotgun on her left shoulder, and she didn't want.
It don't feel right. It don't. It's just like anything else. Try writing with your opposite hand and see how that
hard.
Same, you know.
But once she finally did it, she went from shooting 3 or 4 targets around to shooting some. She was up there sometimes shooting 22, 23.
It's a night and day difference once that light bulb moment. Have you guys? Do any of you guys have any of those issues where you're opposite hand eye dominant? Any of that stuff?
No, sir.
Was that something you learned in the shooting sport? Like the first thing was like, dominant eye and all that.
We do that every year when we have our shooting sports safety meeting. Okay. We always go over eye dominance, and you'd actually be surprised at how many cross dominant people we have in Chaves County, because there's a lot of right-handers that are left eye dominant, and I actually had one this year. I called him my unicorn, that we had a left-handed kid that was right eye dominant.
That's unusual.
That's rare.
I'm left across the board. I'm left eye dominant and left, so that I'm thankful that at least I'm on the same side. That does help. Other sports I do right-handed, but shooting, no, that's a lefty thing. So let me ask: did you guys new to shooting sports prior to coming here, or did you guys do a lot of? Did you have a lot of work with firearms with your families and stuff like that?
We all have a lot of work with.
So you all grew up with guns and firearms. You guys were at least you were pretty well versed on the safety side of things going in. So when John's telling you stuff like don't point the gun at anybody, keep your finger off, that was common sense for you guys. That's good.
we stress safety. We have a safety orientation before they ever start shooting, and we stress that right from the top, and then we reinforce it along the lines. But
sure,
these guys, like I say, they've got some experience. They've done real well. We haven't had any incidents to worry about.
Now, do you guys practice and work a lot of the unfun part of it? Like, do you guys get to sit down and clean all the guns, get them oiled back, get them ready? And I mean, is that part of the deal too, where you guys are maintaining and I mean, not doing gunsmith work on them, but cleaning them and making sure they remain serviceable? Is that part of the fun and training? Well, I'll say fun training too.
Yeah, it is. I kind of dropped the ball there. We've been so busy. I've kind of been maintaining them, but we're supposed to learn how to do it. Most of them here have done it before. It's nothing new.
One of the fun things that was new to me is when I was the instructor and things teaching. One of the things we had to do is trigger pull tests on the guns, and that was kind of new to me. I wasn't familiar with that until I took my formal training and. So because obviously these were guns for Boy Scouts, we didn't want hair triggers on them. We didn't want them where you look at them funny and they go off.
Ours is the same way. Ours can't be anything over 2 pounds.
I think it was 3 pounds for us, but really? If I remember right. But this was again a couple years ago.
Our guns before we go up to Whittington, before we fire a shot, all our guns are inspected and pistols. Anyway.
Sure. Of course, these kids I was teaching weren't doing competition shooting either, so 2 pounds probably a little better for competition. Whereas in a training environment, you want to make them work it a little bit just so, they don't, till they're very comfortable with it, because when you guys know, when you're dealing with kids, they get excited. Look what I did. Like, whoa, but that kind of stuff. I'm sure you guys did the same thing your first time up there, right?
No, that's very controlled. They have to keep their pistols on the table
at all times.
At all times when they're not shooting.
So we got a couple more minutes, but I want to ask our archery shooters here. How many of them raise your hands again? Who's our archery guys? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Archery.
What I want to know? Do you have like is there days where you'd rather shoot? Like, do you find the archery more fun than the gun shooting? I mean, is it? Because to me,
you better be careful what you say.
I'm gonna be careful.
And I'm not trying. But to me, they're fun in different ways. Like
they are.
Archeries, it's more. I mean. You focus more on the mechanics because it's it's a little bit slower, but at the same time you're dealing with a big arrow and it's but I'm just curious if you kind of dig that more a little bit than shooting guns sometimes. I'm not saying all the time because it's always fun that things blow up, but there's a certain satisfaction about shooting archery and then you're putting it dead center on targets or man, it blew through the target. Look how cool that was, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like archery hunting. That's one of the things that I do. So
well, see, now that's where they both require skill, but it takes just a little bit more skill to do it in, especially if you're in woods and stuff. It's easy bullets to dodge trees, not so much arrows.
Well, I'll tell you what, a deer can dodge an arrow.
This is true.
It's happened many a time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way,
jumping the string.
You got a slower propelled object and a very fast prey. Yeah. So yeah, your chances decrease significantly with a bow versus a guy with a shotgun or a rifle.
The string on me over the years. It's amazing.
So now, how old are you guys on age wise? I've probably high school. Obviously, you all like juniors, seniors. What grade are you guys on average here?
I'm a freshman.
Freshman?
I'm 13 and I'm going to be a freshman.
So I made y'all older, like y'all were like, yeah, man. So I got a hair right here. Look out. No. So you got it. Cool. So I'm what's
Andrea doesn't.
No.
What's I'm good. What's life goals? What do you guys want to do? Do you want to what career wise, or do you have? I know you guys are 13, 14, but I'm sure you thought about it. I mean, you want
17.
17. He's the senior in the group here. But I mean, have you thought about plans? Like, what do you want to do? All right, we'll talk with our 17-year-old since you've had a little more time here.
I've thought a little bit. One of the things I'm really interested in is wildland firefighting.
Okay.
I really enjoy that.
Do you want to be like the jumpers and all that stuff and go with that hardcore? Or do you?
I really haven't decided on that part of it yet.
What was that Howie Long movie that came out in the 90s where he was jumping out of airplanes to fight fires?
Yeah, I can't remember it.
Go look that movie up. I'm sure it's completely not
He's a
helpful.
volunteer fireman right now. He's fighting fires right now.
So you've been probably pretty busy.
We have.
I imagine you had time to get shooting in because you might have been pretty busy.
Yeah.
Fighting fires around the region here. So.
And I'm anxious what this guy has to say. What are you going to be? I know what he should be. He should be a lawyer. He's our negotiator. Always got an angle.
Always should work the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Figure out what's so I'm not really sure exactly what it's called, but I'm doing an internship with one of our family friends this summer, and I go out and check fields and give water schedules and check for bugs and everything. And
nice. So good deal. So you're going to learn some of that this summer.
Yeah, like entomology and agronomy kind of mixed
Like
together.
a range specialist.
Nice.
I don't know. Probably something like that.
Well, who knows? You might be the next Drew or something at the Aggie, or the guy or the bug person or something like that. Yeah. All right. What about you three? What's have you thought about plans?
For me, I've been kind of looking because I'm going to college pretty soon. I've still got one more year of high school, but then after that, I'm going to college, and I've been thinking kind of something in the technology branch, maybe dealing with like computers or something like that. Something
IT stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. You know? Because I mean,
do you speak the language?
Kinda.
Do you speak nerd? That's kind of a requirement there. Because if you don't, they don't let you in. That's
like a requirement to get the degree.
IT people, they get really smart, but then if we just kind of come in, they look down upon us. All right, you guys, you in the back, you guys hiding. What about you guys? Do you have plans for after school?
Well, I play guitar, so I'd like to do something in music.
So you want to do a band? You want to form a band or do?
I've got some friends I play with.
Okay. What's your music? I mean, what rock, blues? What do you guys do?
Rock.
Nice.
And if I need something to actually make money, as I'm getting older. In
case that whole band thing doesn't work out.
Yeah. I could go into some kind of trade, something where I do something manual, something simple.
Skills. Okay. Do you do maybe welding? Because you can write your ticket when you're a welder. That way you got that skill set. And you're making bank.
Especially in underwater.
You could buy your own band if you do that.
Underwater welding.
Oh, yeah, that would be... while he's jumping out of planes, you're underwater. He's putting out fires, you're starting ones underwater. All right, have you made plans after high school or want things, desires, dreams?
I'm just trying to take down the welding path.
Okay.
By taking the welding classes in my school.
See, I was right. Give him good advice. He's taking welding here. So, well, bring him with you when you take these welding classes, so he can get that in there. And so in case the band doesn't work out. Now I got to ask: when you talk rock music, are we talking like Imagine Dragons rock or like real rock, like Metallica and those guys?
He loves Metallica.
All right.
It's kind of annoying sometimes.
I tried to introduce him to Merle Haggard, but it's not working.
Still hasn't worked out for us yet.
Well, we have a long drive to Nebraska, so
he does.
It's gonna be a lot of Merle Haggard things.
I've called shotgun, so I'm controlling the music, and
the negotiators in charge of the radio.
I got at least 3 of them pegged. I'm not so sure, but this guy's a negotiator. He's our analytical guy.
Nice.
He's got to analyze everything.
I got to ask, because in team sports, it's shooting sports, but you guys are a team here. Do y'all is there team quirks, superstitious? Anybody wear like stinky socks, shooting day or crossing lines? You got to hear a certain thing or eating a certain food? Any of that going on?
Like pink shotgun shells count?
What is it? Go ahead.
He's got.
Whenever I go shoot shotgun competition, I bring my own shells. I shoot pink shotgun shells.
Okay. So why? And it has to be pink?
Yes.
Is there a reason in your head why it's going to be pink?
No.
He just shoots them better.
I guess it's good luck.
That's called a weird quirk. You got it. Very good. Well, we're about out of time. Congratulations, guys. This is awesome. And I want to give you a last chance. Anybody want to say hi to mom, dad, girlfriends, buddies? Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Say it. Do it.
Do that shout out.
Do it.
Nope.
This is your
Yeah, shout out.
This is your chance. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Shout out to Dave.
Hello, anybody that could possibly be listening.
That's the negotiator for you.
Yeah,
He's
there
the
you go.
blanket.
Hello, world.
Blanket Switzerland
Well,
over
stay
here.
tuned. When we come back from the national championships, we'd like to come back and we'll tell you about
Absolutely.
what it was like.
When is nationals?
We're going to Grand Rapids or
Grand
Island, Nebraska. We're leaving June 25th, and we shoot for about 5 days, 4 or 5
Awesome.
days, and we shoot a different event each day. It's really going to be a lot of fun.
Cool.
It's going to be a good experience for these kids. And
Just remember, guys.
we're going to do our best.
Yep.
You guys are going to be together in a lot of small spaces over that time. Remember that. Just saying. You know, what you eat, what you do impacts all of you. Just saying. So if you go for bean night at the buffet,
That's not allowed because they're riding with me.
We've
you
already
all
had the
will
rules.
suffer later. I'm just saying.
Ladies, we can't have any hot fries.
Yeah, no flaming
She set the rules
anything.
already. She's been there and done this before. so.
Go down that trip or two.
No
So.
awesome burritos. That's
Good tip. Well, thank you guys. Congratulations on the state championship. Good luck here at national level. And yeah, come on back. We'd love to hear more about it. And hey, John, let me ask you this: if folks are listening, they're saying, you know what, I think I would like to get involved in this. Is just reach out to Andrea here to talk more about becoming part of the shooting sports 4-H program?
Yeah, our shooting year wraps up in September, and in October we have a sign-up month, and they can join 4-H and sign up and get everything going then. And
perfect.
And
Correct.
So yeah, see Andrea and get set up.
Very good. What's the phone number over the extension office, Andrea?
575-622-3210.
Very good. Well, thank you guys. Congratulations. Good job. Happy. It's awesome. You guys, great to see it. And hey, if you guys do go hunt and you want to bring back meat, I'll gladly take it off your hands. Unless it's like skunky, then you keep that. But, you know, good stuff.
Just one more thing. We're really proud of these guys for Chaves County to be going and representing us at the Nationals.
Yeah,
That's
it's a big
quite
deal. You guys,
big
you guys are awesome. Good
They've
deal.
done good. They've worked hard. We're practicing twice a week,
And trust me, all the stuff you're learning here in shooting sports, the discipline, it will serve you well in wherever you want to do, whether you want to be in a band or weld or jump out of airplanes and fight fires, whatever it is.
My band's going to do better than
Battle of the Bands already starting.
you can't take a gun in a courtroom.
Well, thank you guys. We'll
Thank
good
you,
luck
Mike.
here. We'll see you next time.
Appreciate you
Okay?
having us.
Thank
Anytime.
you.
Thank you.
side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 7:57. Stay tuned next hour. We're going to have Mayor Tim Jennings join us. Tonight is City Council meeting beginning at 6 p.m. out at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center there in the City Council chambers. Invited are all. Come and see if you'd like, or you can watch it online too. If you go to the city's website, roswell-nm.gov, they'll have a live streaming video of the meeting as well beginning tonight. But if you can be there in person. But if you can't make it or don't have time to check it out, Mayor Tim Jennings will join us here in just a few and next hour, and we'll preview that. A couple things I want to put on your radar before we get you into news here. Don't forget, coming up Thursday, June 23rd, Leadership Roswell Alumni Association is having their 2022 Community Leader Awards Banquet. They would love to invite the public to come out and join us for dinner as they celebrate their nominees or winners of the 2022 Community Leaders. The event is happening June 23rd, 6:30 p.m. It's going to be at the New Mexico Military Institute VMV Hall. Cost is $30 per person, or you can purchase a table of 8 for $225. The registration deadline is June 9th, which is today. I imagine if you get it done tomorrow, they'll get you in. But they want to get these reservations in this week, today. So give them reach out and call. This year, they're going to be honoring, actually, also the honorees from 20 and 2021 because of COVID. There wasn't a banquet. They did a bunch of stuff. We had them on the radio and all that, but we didn't get to have a big banquet and a party for those folks those years too. So hopefully they're going to be out there and we'll honor them. But this year's honorees are Kay and Dale Rogers. They're our Lifetime Achievement Award winners. Jason Perry is our Outstanding Leader Award. Tina Cisneros is our Commitment to Youth Award winner, and Margaret Kinnard, our Leadership Roswell Alumni Award winner. So they're going to be honoring these 5 folks through these 4 awards at the event on June 23rd. Please, I'd love to have you come out and celebrate. These are all great people. Obviously, Kay and Dale Rogers. We lost Kay here, and so that one's being honored. Postmortemly, but. It's some great people. Would love to come out and show some love to these folks. So to RSVP, you can email Elaine Mayfield at condor@dfn.com, CONDOR@dfn.com, or call her or text her 575-626-2640, 575-626-2640. Again, June 23rd, 6:30 p.m., the 2022 Community Leader Awards Banquet at NMMI. All right, it is time for some Town Hall news. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. More people applied for unemployment last week than the analysts were expecting. New applications jumping 27,000 to 229,000. We're now just pennies away from a national average $5 a gallon for gasoline. AAA puts the average at $4.97 today. That's up a couple of cents from yesterday. The aftermath of the deadly shootings in Uvalde, Texas and Buffalo, New York, the House passes gun control legislation.
The yeas are 223. The nays are 204.
And it was a mostly party line vote.
Members debated throughout the day.
Protecting Our Kids Act. It does no such thing.
Enough is enough.
The measure would raise the age limit for purchasing a semi-automatic rifle and bar the sale of ammunition magazines with a capacity of more than 15 rounds. But the legislation has little chance of being passed in the Senate. Mike Gracia, Washington.
A California man facing an attempted murder charge following his arrest outside the home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. The incident has Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell urging the House to pass a Supreme Court security bill to do so without delay.
Minority Leader Mitch McConnell took to Twitter after news police arrested a man threatening the life of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. McConnell complains a bipartisan bill to expand security for justices, which passed unanimously in the Senate last month, has been blocked in the House. House Democrats say they're trying to expand the bill to provide more security for clerks and other workers at the High Court. Bob Agnew reporting.
The Democrat-controlled House Committee investigating the storming of the U.S. Capitol goes prime time tonight, holding a professionally produced, nationally televised hearing. Stocks are mixed on Wall Street, with the Dow up 29 points, while the Nasdaq is down 18. The S&P is off a fraction. More on these stories, townhall.com.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash-out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Not licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
At least 10 people are dead, 3 missing in flooding in the central Chinese province of Hunan, while a landslide buried parts of a village to the south.
It's early in the flooding season in Hunan, and already more than 250,000 people have been rushed from their homes and forced to move to higher ground. Fenghuang is one of the areas listed by the authorities as being worst hit by the current floods. Sometimes called the most beautiful town in China, new photos show its 300-year-old traditional wooden buildings and bridges are being swallowed up by water. The authorities estimate that 2,500 homes across Hunan have already been destroyed.
The BBC's Celia Hatton. A French parliamentary delegation pledging support for Taiwan. The promise came during a meeting today with the president of the self-governing island democracy that China claims has its own territory. News and analysis, townhall.com. In Minnesota, bonus pay for those who went into work during the worst of the pandemic.
Some are calling it hero pay. It's bonus money for those who actually had to go into work between March of 2020 and June of 2021. Healthcare workers, public school employees, those in retail, food services, public transit, and manufacturing, among other sectors. They can start applying for the money today under the Frontline Worker Pay Bill. How much each person gets depends upon how many workers apply. It's a thank you, says Governor Tim Walz, to those who worked on the front lines during what he calls a peacetime emergency. I'm Rita Foley.
The head of the UN's nuclear watchdog says Iran is removing 27 surveillance cameras from its nuclear sites in the country. Tehran has said nothing about the move, which the UN official describes as a serious challenge. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel wishing, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce?
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
This is getting a little nerdy in here.
It was. We're Star Warsing it up.
I was eavesdropping a bit, just kind of like just checking in on the conversation every now and again. It was like Star Wars for a minute, then it dipped a toe into Harry Potter.
Just a hint, yeah.
And then right back to Star Wars. And you guys maintained that for a pretty good long while.
I'm good at talking.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to. Is we're just good at this thing.
Yeah, I got thoughts on everything. They may not be right thoughts, but I have thoughts on everything. So, yeah, Roy and I were talking Star Wars and Obi-Wan and how it relates to the big scheme of the Star Wars universe and all of that.
Yeah,
so
Star Wars is a never-ending nightmare.
Yeah, I almost feel like, and getting back to kind of the point I was making earlier, I almost feel like this series, Obi-Wan, is more consequential to the overall canon story of Star Wars than The Mandalorian was.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Is what I was kind of the point I was trying to make in hour one.
But I think I was adding to that point saying, yes, you're right, but I'd also add another layer saying it's the melding of
the two worlds.
A little bit.
Where you kind of start to see more of that side of things.
See how Mandalorian and that stuff works in the bigger picture.
And I would almost argue this is doing original Star Wars fans a disservice. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say that, I'm a fan of what they're doing.
Gotcha.
But it feels like they're utilizing these series in order to retcon certain elements into the Star Wars universe that just weren't ever there before.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Because they have to. I mean, because...
Which means Lucas I guess in this case, Disney is eventually going to re-release the original trilogy with even more CGI.
Oh, yeah, those are...
To add in, they're gonna throw Grogu just running through the background.
But they have to, because, Lucas created the story, the world, and it was a rough draft of the 9 movies.
It really was a very bland universe, and now we're just kind of it's being peppered.
But what he did was he created all this universe, and then he basically took episode 4 and said, this is the most movie worthy of the stories. And so that's why they started there.
Right.
And so now what Disney and all these guys have done have taken that basic 9 and created a whole universe. And so to achieve what you're saying, they got to do that stuff. They got to...
Oh, I agree.
Crowbar stuff out of here and create new content to blend it into what this original 9 stories were to tell.
As a fan of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and that whole universe, watching them take a one-off mentioned character in Breaking Bad and turn it into an entire season-long story arc on Better Call Saul, I absolutely appreciate retconning things for the sake of enriching the story.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
And I mean, if you look at all of our franchises that we kind of, look of as franchises, they're all the same. Marvel does it. Star Wars certainly does it. We're talking about it here, but I would even throw in things like The Matrix.
Yeah.
The Matrix was a one-off movie that they crowbarred 3 more movies out of.
But at the same time, you don't see them going back and remaking the original Matrix with a bunch of CGI of the stuff that we've seen in the subsequent movies.
You've watched Resurrection or whatever the last one was?
That was a sequel. I'm just saying.
I know. There's a lot of regurgitated CGI in there.
I agree.
That was a soft reboot.
But you're not seeing them go back and redo the first one like Lucas was so keen to do back in the 90s.
Well,
that's my point.
Well, those were the same movies. He just added 15 seconds and repackaged them. Well, that's George Lucas. Disney, they're going to repackage a whole new movie for you.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you the same movie 12 times.
A movie, 13 series.
They're like, why do that when I can create a whole new movie? They're taking George Lucas's thing and going next level. So Lucas was the guy that gave us 27 versions of Star Wars. This is the digitally remastered one with 15 more seconds of Jabba the Hutt scrolling his fat self across a temple.
And I'll say this, Disney is really taking a page out of George Lucas's book, because if you look back at the original contract between George Lucas and the producer of the movie, he opted to take less of a cut of the movie's revenue in replacement of taking more of a cut of the licensing.
Oh, yeah, the back end.
Yeah, the back end.
Well, yeah, because you see the points there.
Exactly. So he's made his mint on
Skywalker Ranch or whatever he calls that thing is built because of Kenner and all the other toys and licensing that came with Star Wars.
Skywalker Ranch, for the record, is my favorite ranch on any salad.
There's a show on History Channel, and it's a documentary series on a creepy island that's got a lot of murders and weird stuff happening. And it's called and the show's called the something at the Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh wow!
And
Skinwalker.
Yeah, and it's ghost and paranormal and just freaky stuff.
Sure.
But it's kind of interesting. I've never watched it, but every time I see Skywalker, and I scroll through the thing and I'm like, oh, what's History Channel doing on Star Wars? Oh, it's Skinwalker, not Skywalker. Sorry.
In general, I've found most bad things happen on ranches. Think about it. Neverland Ranch, that ranch that Sam Donaldson owned.
Yeah.
I mean, Skinwalker Ranch. Owning a ranch at this point, it feels like it really is a point of diminishing returns.
Or there's so many good things. Like Hidden Valley Ranch.
That's true.
There's so many good things from there.
That is very true. For the record, Neverland Ranch is my least favorite ranch on a salad. It's real chalky.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the beans, of which the ranch style beans.
I do.
They came from a ranch. Then I like those. So there's some good things from a ranch.
Are these in the style of which a ranch hand would eat? Are these the style of which I could just crack the top open and eat with the end of a buck knife?
Some people of lesser scruples would say the Bunny Ranch is a pretty good place.
I feel like you couldn't do this now in 2022, but I really wished at some point in our history we would have had somebody come up with the concept of just releasing hobo beans, like hobo brand beans.
Yeah,
the official beans of eating on a campfire, cut open with a buck knife and then eating with the same buck knife.
I think the can should come wrapped in a kerchief.
Ah, a bindle.
Yes.
It's its own bindle. I see. Yeah. And you order 3 cans, you can get sent away for your own stick.
It's not about the beans, it's about the packaging.
It's not about the beans, it's about the bindle. That's right.
And then they could do commercials about where you been, and then
where you been.
Then he expels gas and says, "I know where you been."
And then you could use the "I've been everywhere" song for the commercial. I've been to Austin, Boston, right? Louisiana.
All right, so someone just needs to start a company and sell beans. Call them hobo beans.
Hobo beans.
Sean and I will market the science out of this.
I've been everywhere.
They should sell a kit where it's like a cigarette lighter, like in the Goofy movie.
Right,
that cooks the bean. That
just holds it up. Yeah, cooks the high.
Comes with its own sterno can.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a kit. It's a kerchief pack in there, and then it's got a sterno can. Mm-hmm. Yeah, why not?
I've always said that canned cranberry sauce is the world's most perfect food.
I hate cranberries in all way, shape, or form.
Well, it comes in the can, right? You open the can with the lid, and then you flop out the stuff, and you can cut it with the lid and consume it with also said lid. So it's a self-sustaining kit.
Yeah, it kind of is. So are many other things in life.
It's like a Lunchable for people with terrible taste.
I had a few of those Lunchables like that.
Oh, boy, did I.
The sardines Lunchables.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny to me that adults are now just like raving over charcuterie boards. It's like, y'all just want Lunchables again.
Yeah.
Just admit it. We just want Lunchables back.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all it is. Mm-hmm. We'll make it charcuterie and make it fancy.
Ours are fancy because we put jams on ours.
Yes. These are armor. Now,
I will say this.
And a sausage.
The best bite I've ever had in my mouth was at one of these charcuterie board parties. It was Black Forest ham. Okay. It was on a everything bagel cracker.
Okay.
Black Forest ham.
All right.
Pepper jack cheese.
And
huckleberry jam.
Okay. Sounds delicious.
It was phenomenal. Throw a little like stone ground mustard on there for an added kick, but it was just that by itself was phenomenal.
Why can't you just take that off of that ET bagel cracker? Mm-hmm. Slap that bad boy on a sandwich.
Slap that thing between 2 pieces of bread. You got yourself a meal. Because we want something in 2 bites.
I don't.
We're trying to be fancy between conversations.
I want to eat 2 bites and have 2 more right behind it.
Have all the other bites.
Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. Here in just a few minutes, we'll get you up to date with the weather. Mm-hmm. And then after our quick commercial break, we'll have Mayor Tim Jennings join us. Tonight is City Council meeting. And we will have...
and probably this morning, too. Tomorrow morning, too.
Well, we'll
the
see.
way things have been going lately here.
It could take
fingers crossed.
Yeah, it could be marathon sessions here. But But yeah, they might still be at it tomorrow. But Mayor's going to preview tonight's meeting for us and give us all the skinny there. Then later on, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Town Hall Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show.
While the mayor is on his way up, I do got to say a real quick thank you to Melanie and at Glenn's Furniture.
Yeah?
They, over the last couple weeks, I've been talking to Miss Mel. She hooked me up with a phenomenal bed.
Yeah, he's been in a better mood last couple days. He's sleeping better.
This thing is awesome. It's great. It does. There is a little bit of getting used to it, like a little bit of a window of like kind of getting, because I'm so used to sleeping on a spring mattress.
You got to remind your butt what comfort feels like.
The way that I toss and turn is by utilizing the springs, pushing down, springing myself into the air, turning, and getting myself comfortable.
Greg Louganis is into his next position.
I basically do, yeah. I Louganis into my next position, and so this bed has a lot more absorption. So it's a lot more like, oh, I have to turn. Okay, I have to consciously, and then like, well, then maybe just don't turn. Maybe just, oh, there it is, and find the comfort spot.
The sweet spot.
The sweet spot. This thing is awesome. California King. Got my sheets in a couple nights ago, and it's a great sleep.
There you go.
So big thanks to Glenn's Furniture. Stop by and see him. Corner Union Alameda. They can get you hooked up too.
Yeah, I've been sleeping on my Serta iComfort bed I bought from there about 6 years ago.
Yep.
And still best bed I ever slept in.
It does seem a bit excessive. It's a lot of bed. I'm a tall, big dude. I've got a wide wingspan. Literally, middle finger to middle finger is the width of my bed. It just feels like a lot. When I put my phone on the charger on the counter on my end table, I have to like roll over twice to get to my phone to turn the alarm off in the morning. I'm not complaining. It's first world problems. I know. It's a lot of bed.
Now you know how it feels to be smaller.
This is what it's like to be you, like all the time, right?
Exactly.
This is what it's like to be in World 4 of Super Mario 3.
That's right. It's what
Everything's
feels like
a little bigger.
That's right. Now you're welcome to my size. It is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock.
I never thought about that level of Mario 3 as being Winter's World.
There you go. Welcome to everything my size. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mostly sunny and hot today. Afternoon highs in the upper 90s across the whole area. We may get an afternoon shower around Roswell. Partly cloudy overnight with upper 60s. Heating up a little bit on Friday. We'll be in the low 100s with sunshine and a little hotter for the upcoming weekend. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, I forgot to refresh my weather. My apologies. Currently 75 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 58%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. We do have a slight chance at some rain showers today, a 20% chance of rain for this afternoon. Mostly sunny. 96 the high today, which is actually cooler than what's coming up, so enjoy it. Winds will be out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour. That 20% chance of showers continues into tonight, mainly before 10 p.m. Mostly cloudy, gradually clearing with an overnight low of 69 degrees. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then the hot just settles in for the next week or so here. Friday, sunny and hot, 104 for a high with south winds 5 to 10. Friday night, clear skies with an overnight low of 72. Southeast winds 5 to 10. Saturday, sunny, hot, 106 for a high. South winds 5 to 15. Sunday, sunny and hot, high of 106, and work week next week, more of the same. 106 on Monday, 104 on Tuesday, 101 on Wednesday of next week. All right, it is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and pause for a 3-minute commercial break, and then on the other side of the break, Mayor Tim Jennings will join us, and we'll preview all what's on tap for tonight's City Council meeting. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Are you tired of the endless spiral of medications that mostly are there to treat the side effects of other medications you take? Many medical providers are quick to prescribe medication without looking for healthier treatment options. At Roswell Medical Clinic, we practice functional medicine, which looks for ways to treat your illness with healthier lifestyle changes and fewer pills. At Roswell Medical Clinic, our providers will take the time to explore treatment options that include lifestyle changes and don't necessarily rely on more prescriptions. Call Roswell Medical Clinic today to schedule your appointment at 575-623-3311 or stop by our clinic at 111 West Hobbs in Roswell. Roswell Medical Clinic. Don't wait for an illness to start valuing your wellness.
If you're like me, you love summer grilling and can't wait to bite into that juicy hamburger. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher, and our team at Carabelli Dental know how important it is that you have strong teeth to confidently bite into your favorite foods. If you're struggling with enjoying your summer activities because of a lost tooth and need a dental implant, or maybe you're looking for a completely new smile, our team is here and ready to make a plan that's right for you. Call us and see how we can help you enjoy your summer cookout.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental in Roswell or call 622-4455. Do you have what it takes to be a champion? Country Club Road Church of Christ presents Champion VBS, June 6th through the 10th, from 9 to 11:30 a.m. for ages 3 years old through 6th grade. Explore the excitement of leading others to a relationship with Jesus from some of the best loved passages of Scripture, and with a team of some of the world's fastest animals, you'll learn how to be a champion with practice, perseverance, and a little sweat. Skits, crafts, music, Bible stories, snacks, lunch, and more, including a free t-shirt. Find out more and register at ccrcoc.com. Champion VBS, June 6th through the 10th at Country Club Road Church of Christ, open to ages 3 years old through 6th grade at the corner of Washington and Country Club Road in Roswell. Learn more and register now at ccrcoc.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 24 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Mayor Tim Jennings back with us. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Well, for folks that aren't aware, tonight is the scheduled monthly city council meeting. It takes place the second Thursday of every month. 6 p.m. And, of course, the meetings are always at the convention center there in the city chamber building or room there. And as always, the public is invited and encouraged to come and be a part of and listen in on the proceedings and things. Always don't forget, if you can't make it in person, you can always watch it on the city's website, roswell-nm.gov. So you can watch and hear it for yourself. But I'm thinking right now, we're sitting here in June timeframe. I guess you guys are wrapping up budget talks and trying to finalize and putting the dots on the I's and J's and all that stuff to get the budget sent up to Santa Fe, right?
Yep. Yeah, we were elected March 1st, and the city had their budget hearings. They didn't want to have their staff in when they put their budget together in March, and then so we started in office on April 1st, and first thing we had to do is do a budget, and for half the council, that was a little bit different because everybody was new. They were new, and so...
And sometimes if you're not well-versed in government finances and stuff, it is a little different than household or business budgets.
They have...
And they got a learning curve there. A
little different lingo.
Yeah.
And, the methods of operation, it's... to me, this seems... this is a new process. It seems extremely slow because everything has to only meet once a month and everything goes through a committee, and we're looking with there's 794 pages of paper that are in our agenda that we discussed today, and
that's literally an epic novel.
Yeah, and, at some point in time, I think we need to restructure the council. I mean, you've got 5 committees with 4 people on it.
Gotcha.
Well, 4 is things are 2 and 2. Now what happens? And
you need an odd number there to get a decision coming out.
If you have 4 with 5 members on it, now you have one less chairman, so that, then there's not a chairman for somebody from each ward, or, five different chairmen. I mean, there's that creates some problems, but.
And quick question, when we talk about some of these committees, are these committees that are just city councilors, or are these some of the committees that include city councilors and members of the public and other? Because I know they've got both.
These are just members of the council.
The city council committees within the council. Gotcha.
And we have some other committees that we're going to do some appointments on some of them, but even them, like the airport committee, I made my appointments, which I'm supposed to do, and some of them have to go back before the committee that they're overseeing, or that they're like the air has to go back through the buildings committee or whatever for airport or public safety. Some of them have to go back, some of them don't.
Gotcha.
Depends how they're set up. And
gotcha.
So that's real different. So our airport's been delayed another month. Getting them together, and there's a lot to do, but. The airport is with a 70-30 plan that we have. I mean, it's very difficult to get in there and understand it. Why that if you have a group of people that want to do a march for hope for cancer,
sure,
and you get every economic level of people in Roswell wanting to do the march, and all the different minority groups, everybody is in there, and they all want to do a march, and then we have to come up and figure out a way to pay to use the facilities and everything. So then all of a sudden, then that gets to be expensive, and you have to pay for policemen and everything else. Well, then the money's not going for Walk to Hope to Stop Cancer,
sure,
like we've done for years. Now it's all of a sudden it's going to pay for the policemen.
Sure.
And sometimes the 70-30 concept is difficult to understand, why everything has to pay its way.
Gotcha.
Why was the drag stick paying $500 a year? Now, nobody out there gets a salary for anything. Anything that they made at the drag strip goes back into the track.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody volunteers. And then they went from that, I think they said, what they told me, went from $500 a year to $19,000 a month. Well, there's no way that works.
Well, to the public, that looks like the city just wants them out because they've got plans for that land. I mean, and I don't know if that's true or not true, but the writing on the wall certainly looks that way. And from an outside looking in, that's the perspective we have.
One of the things on them, that was one of the things that they were told, that they had other people wanted the land, Mystic wanted the land or something, and then when we had that public hearing on the rate increases of rent out there, they said, we don't want your land. So just who knows who's telling who the truth.
Sure.
And so then you get into things, and the increase on Mystic went from $6,000 to $24,000 and stuff. I mean, it was 400% increase. I mean, it was just,
that's not practical in any sense of the word.
When you look at the condition of a lot of the facilities out there, they're 70 years old and they're worn out.
And you want to charge $20,000 a month or whatever for that?
I mean, we're going through it now. I think with Sidney Gutierrez School. I mean, here it's the #1 charter school in the state, and they've spent everything they could do to get a lease to expand their school from 6, 7, and 8 to kindergarten through 8th grade, and so they've done all this stuff to expand it, and got classrooms and everything else there, and then. If the air conditioner was out, it didn't work when my kids went there 18 years ago. It was bad. And all of a sudden then it's, they want to double their rent and everything else. Well, they spent all the money that they had to get the other portable classrooms and lease all those classrooms that are out there so they can expand the school. It's the #1 charter school in the state. And by far, I mean, it's done very well.
Sure. So it's something. So is it looking at this 70-30 rule and reworking it? Is that the fix, you think? Or
I don't know. I just it's like the adult center.
Yeah.
I mean, where are we? We had a thriving adult center, and now it's gone. And And
we got to figure out the way where it doesn't drain the city, but at the same time support it so it thrives. And it is a tricky balance, but at the same time you can't gouge them because they don't have the ability to cover that. They just don't. And there's a reason these are non-profit-y, mom and pop stuff. I mean, City Gutierrez, but you know what I mean. But it's it's hand to mouth type budgeting and things like that that's going on at both of these situations, and to just slap all right, we're going to charge you $500. Oh, and by the way, now we're gonna increase that about 10,000% on you. And I'm just throwing a number out, but but you know what I mean. It that's not feasible for anyone, and I understand that. The city has to money, we got a budget, we got to spend here, and how. But I think we don't want to sabotage things we know are good and successful, because you know what I'm saying. So that's the trick that the city council has to figure out.
Whether it be a drag strip or whether it's people exercising, and all those things are different things that add to the character of your community. Which, it's very diverse, and diversity always leads to greater understanding and greater little nuances that make your town attractive to other people. And so that stuff's, it's real important. And you get people exercising, keeps them healthy, and they used to go perform at nursing homes and stuff like that. I mean, it's just stuff that makes your town, gives it class and character.
Sure. Well, and this is the kind of stuff that attracts more professionals to our community. The hospitals, law enforcement, city, everyone's looking for more qualified people to be a part of their ranks. They look at, when they come to Roswell, they look at things like what's available to do, what amenities they have, what's the crime rate look like, how schools look like. These are all factors people weigh when they come to meet. And so when you take away or detract from those, you're hurting the big picture. In
the museum, we have a clay studio, and the director's been there for 40-plus years and had a contract. Everything was fine. And all of a sudden now we have to make her an employee. Now, I don't know how all that happens all of a sudden, but, everything was fine. And, it just, in that museum, charging people, it's, so we did work at the zoo, and then because we locked up the zoo, and in that we locked up the pond over there where kids used to go fish, and charge them to go fish now. Well, before that, the state would stock it if you didn't have it locked up. If you have it locked up, then the state won't stock it. So now we have to buy the fish.
Okay.
And are we going to, when you look at all that, are we better off having the state stock it and having people fish whenever they want?
Well, and I think what we could do there is you get various agencies along and you turn those into fishing clinics and all kinds of other great things. You know what I mean? That maybe could generate some money to help offset some of that cost. I mean, and I get, it is a tricky balance because, there's probably people that never go to these facilities and have a mindset of, why should I pay for something I don't use? But at the same time, you don't want to price these things out where no one's going to use them. So where's that balance? And we got to kind of figure that out a little bit. And that's, and to be honest, is there a right or wrong answer? I don't know, because should people that want to use it regularly invest something in it? I could see that argument. But do you want to make it so pricey that now they're not going to utilize it anymore? No, you don't want to do that. How do we find that balance? And that's really the big issue here,
And all the way down to little leagues and everything else.
Absolutely,
Soccer leagues, what do we charge to use the parks? And I know when we developed that park, like the soccer park, it was set up and designed the way it was designed so that you moved the soccer fields. Every year you moved them like 75 feet over. And so when you did that, then you kept the ground in front of the goals from being depleted of grass, because that's where everybody plays, and packing so hard when you just moved them. But now we haven't moved them, for a while. So
they're probably doing moving.
Now but all the grass is dead and stuff. So then you got to replant.
Reseed.
Whereas before you could have
It's kind of like a farming concept where you rotate crops and things like that to keep
and that's just what you need to do. Just move them a little bit.
Yeah.
And you have to restripe the fields, but I know originally they had them all set up to where they were on a line, and you could just move them over, move everything 75 feet, and you get it off the playing area, and and then in a couple of years you move back, and 75 feet one way, 75 feet or 150 back the next time, and then
so they
go
stopped
back.
doing that, I guess, or
they haven't done it.
I'm guessing COVID maybe, but who knows? I mean, they blame everything on COVID if you want, I guess. But
well, no, that's not COVID. That's just it's management, lack of management.
Gotcha. So really we talk about the money for the resources, but also being good stewards of said resources. Is it's designed a certain way. If we're not doing it that way, we're shortening the life of it here, and so we got to balance, take care of what we got, but at the same time improve and provide a way. And it's a tricky. This is why there's a light of lightning rods when you're the mayor and city council because it's these are and you talk to 12 people and get 12 different answers on how you should do this. So this is why these city council meetings get pretty long, I'm imagining.
Well, hopefully we can get through them quick.
Sure. So let's while we got a chance, is there any like a couple item things that we definitely want to make sure we spotlight for tonight? I know a lot of it's going to be budget talk here, but a couple of things on the agenda we want to make sure we let folks know about.
We have a lot of public hearings on items 4 through, let's see what number that is, 4 through 12 are for public hearings, and those are on things like the liquor license for Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
And La Grande Victoria on 401 North Richardson. That's a little restaurant wants to have a liquor license there to serve beer.
Okay.
And we have a lot of those coming up and then we have some marijuana businesses there that are looking for approval so they can.
And for those businesses, this is their last phase, right? If they get a green light tonight, then they're free to do their thing, right? Gotcha. Yeah. I know we've got a couple that have already gone through that system, but we got the next batch that'll go before the city council tonight to get those.
Yep, and then we have some resolutions on cleanup on different properties that we have there that are dilapidated and need to be cleaned up. We had some things on the lodgers tax that went through on with using some of the lodgers tax money, which are kind of interesting. I know we're looking to put $4,000 to reimburse expenses on trying to get the Wool Bowl back up and running with a junior college football game, which would be an interesting deal if we can get
and
that
MMI has been playing. They played some of their games, on most of their home games, actually, in the Wool Bowl last year, and I think they're looking to move the Broncos to play all their games. I mean, home games on Saturday out there. So that'd be a nice thing. And by the way, if y'all looking for a fun game to go to on a Saturday afternoon, go check out an NMMI football game. I mean, they're the national champs in JUCO college. They're exciting to watch. If you're a football fan and you've never been out to an NMMI game, go check out the Broncos and watch them on Saturday afternoons.
They were good, and we played one of the pre-games before the championship, and they won that, and this could be a precursor if we can get this, maybe end up being the national championship for the junior JUCOs.
We could be hosting a bowl game or something.
It could be a good deal if we could get it. And,
sure.
And it's funny that the women came in national. They were runner-up in volleyball and the football team, and the team that beat us in volleyball, we beat in football. So, and
the small circle sometimes, right?
Yeah. And I was talking to the general. He said that out of their championship team, that I think he said 24 of the students that were on that team had a contract to go to a
Division I school.
Division I school.
It's amazing.
Or on to college, college school before Christmas. So,
and MMI has never had a problem cranking out leaders. So. Well, good, yeah, so that'll be good. But just if you're looking for some fall fun, if your Friday nights don't satisfy your football itch, then get on out to a couple Saturday games there for NMMI.
And some of the other things, we did put some money in the Jazz Festival and then the State Fair. Uh,
Can I ask a quick question? You know, now that we're coming out of COVID, what's lodgers tax funding look like? Is it starting to get, you know, because for folks that don't know, lodgers tax money comes from when people stay in hotels and all of that stuff. Did COVID dip into those numbers at all, or did they stay pretty steady?
It's hurt us on people traveling and stuff, so that's hurt us some. And then we pledged a lot of the money that used to get for lodgers tax. We pledged more of that money to remodel the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
So that cut into the funds, but we are getting some money back.
But it's starting to, people are traveling and things, so it's starting to replenish here pretty
and
good.
you know, they put some money in the Bottomless Lakes Triathlon in the State Fair, the Roswell State Fair, which is our oldest fair in the state,
Mm-hmm.
the Roswell Symphony. So, you know, we put some money back into some of those areas with
Good.
that, and then
I'm sure they're very thankful for those.
well, let's hope so.
Because you know, for some of these organizations, that's the difference between ability to have it and not have the event. So, yeah.
And then in some of our new business, we have some discussion on the Chisholm Park, or it's on Virginia. It's the old Chisholm School where they're putting in a park, and we have another thing with some agreements with economic development and corporation, and we have to look. I think we're going to do something on the where to put the rocket. I think the
old slide.
Yeah,
the
old
rocket slide. Yeah,
where that's all. Where we're going to put that. So we have a couple zoning cases and things we're going to work on that. So
okay.
It's all.
So pretty much you know, outside of the budget stuff, pretty much atypical normal city council meeting fare for the most part. You know, proving this and that, getting some of these liquor license and cannabis passed through, and then like I said, dealing with the usual derelict facilities. Which, by the way, folks, if you don't know, if when it gets to the point of city council is talking about derelict buildings or properties and things like that, there was a gamut of steps that took place before it's sitting. So when you hear someone being, you know, property being either annexed or whatever is being done to it because it's not maintained, they've gotten countless letters, countless discussions. They just didn't up and say one day, we're going to annex this property, or we're going to charge or clean it up and charge somebody, whatever countermeasures the city has to do. I just want to let people know that there was ample opportunity by the private party to take care of this thing before it gets to the city council. So when people hear this, like, they don't, trust me, it was before it gets to this level, there was a lot of behind the scenes work happening to get to, basically everything fell through to get to this level, basically. So I just want to put that on people's radar. When you hear those kind of things, it's city, trust me, they're not in the business of wanting annexing property and doing this stuff. They do it for the safety and health of the community, and because let's face it, we know derelict structures, derelict buildings attract derelict things. It's just the nature of the beast, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so the city does what it can to try to mitigate that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to throw that caveat out there. So when people hear that, what do you mean? No, trust me, this isn't like just new coming up to these folks. They've probably years of going back and forth before we get to this stage. So if I'm wrong there, please tell me, you know, speak out there. But I just want to kind of get that out to people out there so they understand a little bit on how that works.
Yeah, a lot of those structures, if people aren't using them, and it's a lot of times we have a lot of homeless that break into them, and then other people come along and then they kick the walls out and they steal the electric wire and all that stuff. So there's a lot of problems that come along with that we have in dealing with the problems we have between homeless and
I would also ask this: ask every neighbor that lives next to that and see how they feel about it, and they'll be happy to tell you, because you get to hear about it. They live it every day. They see what's going in and out of that place. They see what's going on in their neighborhoods, and they don't want it. And if it was your neighborhood, you wouldn't want it either. So understand that.
Yep. Then we have some appointments to boards and commissions for parks and the library board, and
good deal.
keep Roswell beautiful and planning and so on.
Any fun stuff tonight? We honoring anybody? I know a lot of times they start out and we get a youth group winning something or a group of people doing some. None of that tonight.
No, we just need to hopefully get through before midnight.
Well, hopefully you get to. The meeting will end on the same day it started.
Let's hope. But no, it's so
good deal. So it sounds like full slate again, folks. The meeting will take place tonight at 6 p.m. It's going to be at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center there in the City Council chambers. The public is more than welcome to come and be a part of the audience to watch. If you do like to speak, you sign up beforehand, and at the appropriate time, the mayor will give you the floor to speak if you'd like to speak on a particular topic. And if you're watching online, if you go to roswell-nm.gov, you can watch. If you don't have time or got the kids and fixing dinner and want to put it on the background, what's going on, you can go to that's our website, roswell-nm.gov, and you'll find the link there. Also, there's a GoToMeeting link if you do want to comment through there. And again, you fill out, and at the appropriate time, the mayor will bring it up and call you on that stuff. By the way, I got to ask, it's been a while because they've gotten high tech back there with buttons and everything. Are you learning all that stuff, or is it you need an assistant to help you with all that there too?
Sometimes, we've got a deputy clerk up there that is pretty good at directing.
Good, because I see it, I'm like, man, that seems kind of confusing. I run a radio board, and there's a lot of buttons to push. I imagine at some point you're trying to run a meeting and talking. Oh, by the way, I got to hit these buttons and this button and that button. It gets a little. It could get a little muddy, I think.
Well, it's a little different when you have something. It's a resolution or ordinance, and they all have little different rules for each one. You have to learn all that. So
yeah, well, good.
I'm a little slow, but she keeps me straight.
Well, that's why those fine employees are there to keep guys like yourself and city council in line there.
Yeah,
so
we're in good shape.
Well, thank you, sir. As always, appreciate the visit. Unfortunately, Mayor can't make it tomorrow to join us, so we'll just kind of get your recaps down there. But hopefully next month we can get you in on the Friday, and we'll see talk about the good and the bad, the ugly, what comes out of that meeting. So, although come this time tomorrow, you might still be looking at the back of your eyelids if this meeting goes late.
It could be. It's real possible.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. All right.
You bet.
All right. It is 8:48. Let's go ahead and pause for local news and your town hall business. Quick commercial break as well. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Chavez County Sheriff's Deputy James Mason will assume the Division II Magistrate Judge position after winning his primary election contest on Tuesday. Mason was up against fellow Republican Nicole Rogers. Rogers is a city animal services supervisor and a former lieutenant at the Chavez County Jail. No Democrat entered the race. So the primary result means Mason will assume the seat that is now held by Judge E.J. Forat, who chose not to run again. Mason says he will likely retire from the sheriff's office in December before taking office in January. The city of Artesia has approved the annual fireworks restrictions. The restrictions prohibit all missile-type rockets, helicopters, aerial spinners, stick-type rockets, and ground-audible devices. The resolution was approved unanimously and is good for 30 days, so that means it'll have to be revisited again before the 4th of July holiday. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mostly sunny and hot today. Afternoon highs in the upper 90s across the whole area. We may get an afternoon shower around Roswell. Partly cloudy overnight with upper 60s. Heating up a little bit on Friday. We'll be in the low 100s with sunshine and a little hotter for the upcoming weekend. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. It's something most consumers have already noticed. From toilet paper to yogurt and coffee to corn chips, manufacturers are quietly shrinking package sizes without lowering the prices. It's called shrinkflation, and it's accelerating worldwide. Shrinkflation isn't new, but it's more evident in times of high inflation as companies grapple with rising costs for ingredients, packaging, labor, and transportation. Russia and Turkey have voiced support for a safe corridor in the Black Sea to allow Ukrainian grain exports. The European Union accused Moscow of weaponizing food supplies to gain an advantage in the war. Ukraine is one of the world's largest exporters of wheat, corn, and sunflower oil, but Russia's invasion and blockade of its ports have halted much of that flow, endangering food supplies to many developing countries, especially in Africa. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Sometimes when you hit the road hits back. That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport, and alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road.
You know, there's something magical about homegrown tomatoes. Watching the plants grow, seeing the blooms pop, and then picking a big, ripe tomato and slicing it up on a sandwich. Hi, this is Jim Gill. Here at Roswell Seed Company, we have some of the prettiest tomato plants that we've ever seen, just waiting for you to make the magic happen. We have some good-looking pepper plants, too, and the geraniums will be coming along soon. So you say tomato, and I'll say tomato. Come and get your plants at Roswell Seed. No, I'm not going to say tomato. Nobody around here says tomato.
Do you ever differ with other people on any given subject? Well, if you're breathing, the answer is yes. From politics to sports, many fights have broken out over those things. We all have an opinion, and our opinion is correct. Many times it seems just too difficult to find common ground. The way I see it, we basically have 4 options when it comes to disagreeing with others. We can criticize them until they change. We can criticize them till they separate themselves from us. We can simply separate ourselves from them. Or finally, we can simply endure the discomfort. A guy by the name of Paul wrote to a church in the town of Ephesus. He said, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace." So, the next argument you have with someone, maybe lean towards simply enduring and love first.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:55, and this is proof right here that we can talk about nothing and anything. We just had a 3-minute conversation on lava foods.
Yeah. Torture foods.
And in order to stop, because I had to go on the air. We could have kept going.
Absolutely we could have. Well, it started with, I found a meme, and it's just a bunch of wrestlers, pro wrestlers, with the face.
Yeah.
And they've photoshopped in Totino's pizza rolls in each of their mouths.
Yeah.
And the meme is when you don't let the pizza rolls cool down first.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty funny. And you've had that happen, right? Where you're like, you pop something in your mouth and think, I've given it enough time.
And you do that, trying to cool it off.
Yeah, the inward hail. inward blow or whatever.
Yeah.
I had one of my favorite comics. He actually has a bit. He's like, I have had moments in my adult life where I've said, this is too hot to be in your hands. And then I've thought, well, quick, then put it in your mouth.
Yeah, that's a better place.
Right? That seems like a better, it's moist up here.
But it got me thinking of like the lava foods and, pizza rolls, Hot Pockets, obviously. These are, but I think the worst on the planet for me as growing up was the Stouffer's French bread pizza.
See, I don't think I ate enough of those too.
See, my grandmother always had them in the house. So that was like a go-to snack because my grandmother, it was either that or pretzel sticks.
Right.
The big pretzel sticks. She used to always keep those in the bread drawer.
The thick ones.
Yeah.
The Belinda specials.
Pretzel rods. Yeah. She'd keep a bag of those in the bread drawer. But French bread pizza was like the one thing that wasn't like a prepared meal or, something that I as a kid could easily just heat up.
Right.
And I was at a point where I was responsible enough where they let me put it in the oven.
You got oven privileges.
Yeah. Because she didn't have a microwave. It was my grandmother, and it was the early 80s. So, but anyway, so I would get the French bread pizzas. And, of course, I'm a dumb kid, and I just go. Matter of fact, I think there's a Stouffer's commercial right now where they talk about the too hot thing. I think I remember seeing one the other day about it. But yeah, I'd go like a dummy every time. Oh, biting that first one and fire. I mean, the roof of my mouth.
Yep.
I'm surprised it didn't have just burn scars all over it because I did it every time.
I have horror stories from, and I love them. I'm never going to not eat them. But from the McDonald's filet of fish, I have horror stories from biting into one that's
straight out
fresh.
the fryer.
Yeah, it's straight out. It's got the oil, kind of pocket of oil still in there.
Yeah,
and you get just that shoots in your mouth. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and so it's. But I gotta. But in my own childhood, that one's the worst. You know what's another one? Jalapeno poppers.
You know what? Poppers are real bad just because you never know.
Especially if you get them right off the grill, and then the cheese is kind of liquefied there, and then you bite into it, and it's like
what happens
hot
is
cheese on your
that's
on your
the
lips.
problem with the cream cheese inside of a popper is the top layer will cool.
Yeah,
that internal layer of cream cheese, that is where the lava lies.
Yeah, I've scolded many a lip area from that stuff oozing out onto me, going. Ah!
Yeah, yeah, that's Mike's party face.
Yeah, it is. Put a pizza roll right there. Yep. By the way, real quick, back to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Real quick, in episode 4, Ice Cube's kid's in it. Who plays Ice Cube in the Straight Outta Compton?
Right.
The actor, I don't know what his name is.
Yeah,
Ice Cube's kid. I don't know his name, but he's in the Obi-Wan
little chunk.
Yeah,
little ice chunk.
It made me happy. I was like, oh, there's Ice Cube's kid, Ice Cube, and
little slushy.
Yeah,
little slushy. Yeah,
crushed ice. All right, it is closing in on 9 o'clock. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, with the hot food thing, have you ever had like a microwaved a burger from like McDonald's?
Oh, yeah.
And the pickles are the hottest thing.
You got to strip that thing before you put it in there.
Yeah.
Town Hall News up next.
De-lettuce it too. It is 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM. KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. 229,000, the number of Americans applying for jobless benefits last week, up 27,000 from the week before. It's a 5-month high. 26-year-old California man arrested near the home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh has been charged with attempted murder. Nicholas John Roski allegedly telling police that he had planned to break into the justice's home and kill him.
Roski told police he was upset by a leaked draft opinion suggesting the Supreme Court is about to overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark abortion case. Minority Leader Mitch McConnell wants the Senate to pass a Supreme Court security bill.
This is exactly the kind of event that many feared, that the terrible breach of the court's rules and norms could fuel.
Roski also told police he believed Kavanaugh would support loosening gun laws after the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Ed Donahue, Washington.
The Democrat-controlled House panel investigating the U.S. Capitol riot goes prime time this evening, a nationally televised hearing. But we don't expect to hear much from President Biden about it.
The president views the work of the House Select Committee as vital and will be following news of the hearings. But spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says Mr. Biden will give lawmakers plenty of space.
He supports what they're doing. We're not going to get involved. It's an independent committee.
The White House says it's critical there's a full investigation to make sure the events of January 6th don't happen again. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, other PGA Tour members who teed off in the Saudi-funded Golf League today, no longer eligible for PGA Tour events under newly announced penalties. Still to be determined whether those players are ever welcome back. Stocks in the red on Wall Street. The Dow down 152 points. NASDAQ is off 50. The S&P down 19 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
Taiwan's foreign minister says a Chinese attack on the island would have an even greater impact on the global economy than Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
China has been paying close attention to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and its neighbor Taiwan is nervous that Beijing may be looking to eventually do something similar by sending an invasion force across the narrow Taiwan Strait. In a podcast released today, Taiwan's minister Joseph Wu tells the chairman of the Parliamentary Foreign Affairs Committee, Tom Tugendhat, that the people of Taiwan are determined to defend themselves against any future invasion by China. He warned that Beijing was trying to expand its authoritarian force into the wider Asia-Pacific region.
The BBC's Frank Gardner. The European Central Bank expected today to end a key economic stimulus program and map out its plan to raise interest rates for the first time in more than a decade. News and analysis at townhall.com. The absence of Vice President Harris leads to the defeat of a Biden nominee on the Senate floor.
Minority Republicans were able to block confirmation of Lisa Gomez as an assistant secretary at the Labor Department. The straight party line vote led to a tie, which under normal circumstances would be broken by Vice President Kamala Harris. The VP was unable to vote this time around because she's visiting Los Angeles for the Summit of the Americas. It's the first time the U.S. has hosted the Summit of North, Central, and South American nations since it hosted the inaugural gathering back in 1994. Bob Agnew reporting.
Thailand has legalized cultivation and possession of marijuana. The stated intention of the country's public health minister is to distribute 1 million marijuana seedlings beginning tomorrow. The Thai government has said it's promoting cannabis for medical use only. Again on Wall Street, the Dow down 193. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Javelin, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome. To hour number 3.
Willkommen. Tschüss inviernos.
Buenos dias. I can't.
It's bienvenidos.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Thank you.
Buenos dias. Bienvenidos.
I could not come out right there. Sorry.
For some reason, I always affect these accents when I do that. I don't know why.
I think people of our age group, when we want to talk sexy foreign, we go right to Ricardo Montalban.
I was leaning more towards Antonio Banderas.
or Antonio Banderas.
So there's now I've told you about these deep dives that I've been taking into certain organizations.
Yes.
Some of the videos that they put out for kids, like they're like propaganda videos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The father of these videos, and I've had this confirmed by like 6 different people. I don't know if they're doing this on purpose, but he's got this like super thick, seductive Latin accent.
He
goes, "My children, what's wrong?" He sounds like it's like some kind of weird amalgamation of like Ricardo Montalban and like Ricky Ricardo kind of a little bit.
Well, it's one of those voices. It's a fine line. In the right room,
it is thick.
It's thick and sexy and exotic.
And in
another circumstance, it's pedo-creepophile.
It's super creepy.
Yeah.
There's an argument that it could also be like Russian, like Eastern European bloc accent.
Oh, a little bit of
kind
that.
of like Transylvanian almost.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like nondescript.
Yeah.
But I see where they're coming from. He's like, "My children, what is wrong? Come to me and talk to me about your problem." I'm like, oh my God, you guys know what you're doing.
So if Antonio Banderas and Vlad the Impaler had a kid.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
It would be that.
Yep. Dmitry Roshnekinov.
All right. Just to clear that up.
Yeah.
Good.
Like, he could either be telling me stories from the Bible or counting.
Yeah. It's a fine line.
Come with me, my children. I will tell you 1, 2, 3, stories from the Bible.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, that got me thinking. Like, of all the Sesame Street characters, which one do you think's the big earner? Like, as far as
I was gonna say, which one do you think gets it?
No. I mean, like of the marketing of Sesame Street.
Sure.
Is Big Bird the big guy,
changed
or
over the
is
years.
it like Oscar, or is it the? I mean, who's
Big Bird was their big deal for a real quick minute.
Yeah.
Elmo, is pretty much
Elmo surpassed a lot.
Elmo has definitely surpassed. I don't know if Elmo is still the top dog.
Yeah.
But Elmo is definitely
because Elmo had its Cabbage Patch Kid moment, like and people that are younger than me.
No, they still put those out.
But are they in demand? Like parents aren't beating each other up over shells trying to get them or any of that stuff.
You're hard pressed to find a it item these days. I mean, like 5 or 6 years ago, we had like the it item that everybody was like, "Ooh, we have to have that."
Yeah.
You don't really see that these days because everybody has kind of like their thing.
Well. And we're also retrained in the world thanks to things like Microsoft and Sony and Apple, where we're just trained for the new one comes out about every year or 2 years. You're like, okay, the PlayStation 27 comes out next week. The Xbox 52 comes out next week. The iPhone 47 comes out next week.
The reason it was so much fun for me as a kid to like, ooh, what's going to be the it toy is because it was always like a thing. It was something different. It wasn't like an addition onto the thing or like, it was, oh, is it going to be an action figure? Is it going to be a movie franchise that took off and these things are big? That was always, and it was always one thing. Like Cabbage Patch Kids had their quick moment. Beanie Babies were real big there for a real long while in the 90s. I mean, it was just, there was
Pet Rock
thing. Yeah, Pet Rock. There was just those bad things. You don't see any of those anymore.
Yeah.
Not nearly as much, at least.
Star Wars was even that way for first year. Kids.
Oh, the Kenner toys?
Yeah, well, for folks that don't know, when Star Wars the movie came out in 1977, and then they found out there's a toy market, Kenner came out with these toys, and next thing you know, they went gangbusters. but they went so gangbusters that they couldn't keep up with supply.
Yep.
So for like the first year that Star Wars toys debuted, like during the Christmas season, kids weren't getting Star Wars toys. They were getting from Kenner little IOUs and It's Coming.
They were getting the alcoholic father Christmas movie. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and so they weren't getting their action figures and X-Wing fighters and stuff.
Right.
They were getting a little card from Kenner saying, under your Christmas tree, Santa didn't make couldn't have time to make all the X-Wing fighters. So
Thanks, Dad. Joke's on you. Them cards are worth $1 billion now.
Probably. Yeah, they probably are for those.
There's like 3 in existence, and those are the most valuable, sought-after Star Wars memorabilia out there.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's kind of
fun watch for you if you ever get a chance. And I think they're now in like maybe season 4 is the Netflix documentary series, The Toys That Made Us.
Yeah.
It's a great.
It is a
series.
great. I've seen a couple of those episodes. Yeah, they cover pretty much any 80s iconic toy.
The G.I. Joes, the
from
Barbies.
He-Man to Barbie to G.I. Joe to Transformers.
They did the Star Wars toys. That's actually where I learned
Star Wars.
most of that info. So just a really a fun watch. I still haven't watched Stranger Things yet. I think subconsciously
So
I'm
you're
waiting
going to be
for
mad at me. I've never watched season 3.
Well, you need to get caught up. That's fine.
Yeah.
You still have a lot of joy left in season 3. It was a great season. Scary, but great. I think subconsciously I'm waiting for my kids to be out of the house before I watch it, just because I don't want them to actually accidentally walk in during like a Demogorgon scene or whatever.
I think a new episode of The Offer comes out today.
Oh yeah,
I need to check on that. I think it does. I'm all in on that one. That one's exciting for me. I've always loved the Godfather movie. So to give me inside baseball on that movie is like Shangri-La to me. I love that. I just absorb it in, love it. So. But that's what I'm into.
I'm also very mad at myself that I have basically completely avoided the entire last season of Better Call Saul. Mostly because I don't have access to it, and so I've just stopped trying.
They're sitting on a DVR.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm a season behind.
Your DVR. I have to come over and hang out with you on a Saturday afternoon or something.
Well, there you go. Come hang out with me.
All right. Kim's going to be weird on Saturday. I'm coming over and I'm bringing my PJs. I've seen how you guys walk around your house on a Saturday. It's incredibly comfortable, so I feel like I need to follow suit.
I'm a man that believes all about comfort and less about imaging and personality. I am what I am. You either like it or you don't. I'm going to live my life.
I like it. I admire it.
That's how I live.
I admire the fact that, much like the Shire, I have to duck my head before I walk in, and it's very cozy inside. Usually smells of bacon. Yeah. It's a nice place.
Well, now you know how it feels like for me to sleep at night. You now know. Because you can stretch out, and it's the Mike Winters experience in bed.
It's so surreal. In my sleep head, I'm still in my normal bed, so I'm like, I'll just read. Nope, that's not. This arm will never reach to that side of the bed.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to shimmy and then reach with this side.
I'm telling you, just get Doc Brown that thing, man.
Yeah.
Doc Brown it up, build a little mousetrap thing where the alarm clock goes off and start your coffee and maybe throw some sausage patties in a pan. I'd just do that.
Yeah, I'm in. It's basically the Michael Scott idea of have a George Foreman grill with bacon at the end of the bed, set to an alarm that goes off in the morning so that I wake up to the smell of cooking bacon, and then I burn my foot subsequently. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Just like that. Yeah. Kim said, tell Sean, come over.
All right. I'm gonna bring me some bratwursts.
There you go. He's gonna be in his underpants watching Better Call Saul.
But see, I feel like I can't because you're not caught up.
Well, yeah, that's true. I'm not caught up.
You still have to watch all of season 4.
Well, watch it with me.
Season 4 and 5.
Yeah, I'm too behind.
That's like 2 days.
Well, then watch it with me.
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of grit.
We don't have to do them 2 consecutive
I'm already
days.
relatively unshaven. I feel like I'd come out even more unshaven than
It don't
that.
have to be consecutive days. We can do it, make it like a...
corresponding weekends.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I can't take the kids this weekend. It's my weekend with Mike. She'll understand.
And Saul, of course.
And Saul.
It is 9:15. I haven't even done the rundown. We just got to talking. We're going to play our interview we had with the Chaves County Republican women. They joined us yesterday after the primary election, talking about their next meeting, which will be next Wednesday. But they're as they were doing through the primary season, they're going to continue to keep offering candidates for the general election here on the Republican side, obviously, for you to come and listen and speak to. So we're going to play that interview for you, talk a little bit about that and post-election and what they've got coming up. So that's coming up in a few. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, along with your town hall business update, Hannity update, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do anything else, though, let's go ahead and take a look at that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mostly sunny and hot today. Afternoon highs in the upper 90s across the whole area. We may get an afternoon shower around Roswell. Partly cloudy overnight with upper 60s. Heating up a little bit on Friday. We'll be in the low 100s with sunshine and a little hotter for the upcoming weekend. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 77 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 52%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. We do have a 20% chance at a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon. Mostly sunny otherwise. Today, cooler compared to the next several days, but 96 for a high today. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, we're also looking at a 20% chance of some showers and thunderstorms. They're saying mainly before 9. So they're talking, from what I've seen, 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. is this sweet window of where we could see the moisture. But 20% chance of rain tonight, mostly cloudy, gradually clearing with an overnight low of 69 degrees, south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, we're looking at sunny and hot, 104 on Friday with southwest winds 5 to 10. They'll shift to the east later in the morning. Friday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 72. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then looking at your weekend, Saturday, sunny, 106. South winds 5 to 15. Sunny and hot. Once again, highs right around 106 on Sunday. And your work week next week, warm as well. 106 Monday, 104 Tuesday, 101 on Wednesday. All right, it is 17 minutes after 9. We're going to take a 3-minute break. 3.5-minute break, I apologize. And then we're going to play our interview with Margaret Kinnard and Christina Arnold from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women.
Sometimes when you hit the road hits back. That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport. And alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road. Make your home a smart home with Smart Home Wi-Fi from Plateau. Now you can connect more devices to fast, reliable Wi-Fi throughout your home. That means faster speeds with no downtime or lag. Enhance your connection, expand your reach, and experience whole home device control and protection with Plateau. Plateau offers true fiber with options starting as low as $60 a month, all with no caps and no hidden fees. Call today, 575-755-1000, or stop by 1001 South Main in Roswell. Get smart home Wi-Fi today from Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Our original gold-rimmed homemade vanilla. The country's gold standard of ice cream flavors since 1969. Its hand-cranked taste takes you back to simpler times. That's why we put the word home right on the carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Walmart Supercenters.
In times of uncertainty, one thing seems to be constant. Crime tends to rise. Zenith Security Services, a locally owned company that's invested in our community, reminds you that for less than 5 quarters a day, you can be proactive in protecting your home, family, and assets with a monitored alarm from a top UL-rated company. The hardest calls we receive at Zenith Security are those needing our services after the fact. Call Zenith Security Services at 575-626-3521 to schedule your free security assessment today.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 24 minutes after some. Actually, I'm not sure if that's accurate, that price. I haven't bought Camels in years. It is 24 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, we have Margaret Kinnard and Christina Arnold with us this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
In unison, even. See, I know it's bright and early, but y'all nailed it. So how are you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Doing good.
Yeah.
Good. I know busy night last night. The primaries are done, and now we turn attention on to the general election. So for the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, I guess it's time to rally the troops now. Right now that we know who your nominees are going to be, it's time for November here and start promoting and getting the word out about the Republican candidates running for office here in the general election. So.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, I don't know if you guys heard it on the way in, but I was kind of talking about a stat there, and we're looking at the numbers from the results from last night, and it's going to be a dogfight in the fall. If you look at the numbers, there was like 116,000 total votes.
116,000 for Michelle Lujan.
Well, just for Republican candidates, Republicans or people that voted in the Republican primary, because you can't really say Republicans because it could be some Libertarians or non-affiliate, whatever. This year, there's that. But there was 116,000 total that voted in the Republican primary, if you take all the governor votes there. Well, in the Democrat side, Michelle Lujan Grisham, 124,000 voted in that.
Right.
She ran unopposed. So if you do those numbers, I mean, if everybody that voted in the Republican voted for the Republican candidate, it's going to be a dogfight at the end here. So my point is make sure you vote in the fall, because if you think your vote don't count.
This is something I think that we've dealt with every election, is that we always come up short.
Yeah.
And that's, the pressure is on Southeast New Mexico to bring those votes in for those statewide races.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is every year, every election we run into that same issue trying to get that vote out.
Yeah.
We have the voter base. We just need to get everybody engaged. And that's, I think, something that we struggle with every time.
Yeah. This is that one decision that you get that actually impacts change in our community. You can sit on your social medias and watch the news and pontificate at the TV all day, but that's not going to impact change. That's not going to fix the things you want fixed. The only way you do that is by registering to vote and actually voting. That's and vote educated, obviously. I always say that, when you do vote, make sure you have reasons for the people you vote for. But for those folks that say my vote doesn't count, or you've been watching, everyone's complaining about this and that, and don't make it. Even before the last couple years with voter fraud and all the topics that have been out here, there's a lot of people that are, think their vote doesn't count, those kind of things, and nothing can be further from the truth on that. The reason, the reason people have not won races and things in Southeast New Mexico. There's been races not won because simply people didn't come out and vote. There was, you look at the numbers for your people either assume or I don't know what their logic is, but I know we've had races in the past where people probably would have been elected that you wanted had enough people actually turned out to vote. And the places where they counted on these folks to vote, a fraction of a percentage of the actual people that came out to vote actually voted. So that's the big problem here. It's not even so much more Democrats or more Republicans or whatever it is. It's more people that aren't voting at all. They just kind of either let other people do it or think it's disenfranchised with the process or something. I don't know.
Well, one of the things I think that I've encountered after being involved for, since I think 2014 is when I kind of started getting, I've always voted and things like that, but actually been part of the process is, you sell ads, that ads are going out on the radio, there's signs out there, something's going on if you're paying attention at all when you're driving down the street. But some things that I've encountered every time is like, oh, there's an election. And then, I've talked to people there after they've gone to vote and they're like, oh, I didn't know all these people were going to be on the ballot. I didn't know all these offices were up for. So it's constantly what we try to do with the Republican women is educate.
Sure.
This is what's going on. These are the people that are going to be on your ballot. Come meet them.
Yeah.
It's rough. I don't know what else you can do.
Well, and part of it is got to be the responsibility of us, the citizen.
Right.
I know the candidates, organizations like yourself take the onus on, we've got to get the word out to vote. But y'all can scream from the highest mountaintop on the planet. We could lock down every channel that's existed and put nothing but vote propaganda on there, and there's still going to be people who I didn't know. You know what I mean? The onus some of that onus has to be on we the people. Mm-hmm. We talk about voting and people talk about rights, privileges, and all. Either way you look at it, it's a responsibility because we're asking for your opinion on who should run this country. And if you're not giving us a valued opinion, you're just going on either what Margaret's saying, I didn't even know who these people were, or I like their sign, or they look pretty good in a suit. Whatever it is that they use, that's on you. That's on us, the people. We gotta. It's part of our responsibility as being good citizens is to educate yourself on these policies. Now, granted, you don't have to become legal pundit experts and watch Fox News or CNN or whatever it is 24/7. That'll drive you batty crazy. But at least understand some of the issues, what's going on in the state, and understand who stands for what. So you, A, know who's running in these said elections, but B, also have a good idea on the people that line up with what you believe in. And that is our responsibility, the public. We need to do better about that. We parents need to teach their kids more about that. We as a society need to put more emphasis on educating people about getting involved in the democratic process and how it works and why you should vote for it and what happens when you don't. And we're experiencing a lot of that right now. We got so much information going out there, and let's face it, a small percentage of it is factual information versus some kind of opinionated slant put on it in some way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, we live in a society where if you're not savvy enough to pick up on that, you're going to be led down a lot of stuff. So we got to get smarter and understand all that stuff too. And I know I got way down a rabbit hole here, but
I think you're right. I think that one of the good things about what we do with the Republican women is that you get to meet these people face to face.
Sure.
Statewide candidates, and you get to hear directly from them, and you can make that determination on how you feel about that person, if it was a genuine experience,
sure.
If what they have to say lines up with what you believe in. Because so often, you don't really get to see these people, especially like nationally, to really know them. Mm-hmm. And so I think that we offer something to Southeast New Mexico that allows them that opportunity.
Absolutely. You get to, for folks that aren't familiar, if you have been coming out to the last several Chaves County Federated Republican Women meetings, it's all been candidate focused. Just almost every meeting you've had for the last several months now has been nothing
yes.
but candidates for various positions, either locally, statewide, or nationally here. And I'm guessing you're going to continue to do that, so through that up to the election here. So this is what we're talking about. Come out to these meetings. We'll tell you about the next one here in just a few minutes. But come out, meet these candidates, because they'll come and speak to you, and you get an awesome lunch and all that cool stuff. But you really get one-on-one time with them, because before the lunch or after the lunch, you can walk up, shake their hand, talk to them, and say, hey, I love what you think on this. What do you think about this? And they're all politicians. They'll be happy to sit down and talk to you about this. You know what I mean? You're right. This is your chance to really get in there and understand. And that way you get to see personalities too.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to see them when they're not, in a presentation mode per se, where if they're behind a podium, that's a structured speech or structured whatever they're going to say. When you're just sitting there, over a sandwich or sitting there just in a casual conversation, you get to learn what a person's really like. You're not performing so much for them. They're just being themselves a little bit. So you get to learn, kind of their idiosyncrasies and things just a little bit through that kind of stuff. So please come out to these meetings, come meet these candidates, vote informed. That's the thing I cannot stress enough is I hate when people just vote to vote. That's almost as bad as not voting, in my opinion. I'd rather, I may not agree with their opinion, but at least it's an opinion, and it's at least something educated, and I can get behind that,
Yeah.
So let's talk about this next meeting. What's on tap for the next Chaves County Federated Republican meeting?
So do you want to?
Yeah. So we are meeting on Wednesday, June, what is it?
15th.
Thank you. I was going to say 19th. 1 week from today. Yeah, 1 week from today.
1 week from
Always
today.
Good. Yeah. We actually open the doors at 11:30 at the Roswell Convention Center.
Yes.
Yeah, we start at noon, and we welcome people out. Our hopes is to get the GOP primary winner to be our speaker. We want to actually have them come speak to us, and it's Ron Ketty. Right?
Yes, so we're calling out Ron Ketty right now.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, he was actually, we gave him notice.
We did,
and
yeah.
we asked each of the gubernatorial candidates if they would put it on their save the date to come and speak.
And they committed. So
yeah, so this is
well, they're gonna need. Mark Ron Ketty's going to need everybody's support to become governor of New Mexico.
That's the focus of the thing is to actually have him come talk to us about what he needs from Chaves County.
Yeah.
I mean, we've really got to rally.
Yeah.
I think from this race, you can see this in the last municipal race that our turnout is kind of questionable.
Yeah.
It's really low. So we've got to at least do some inspiring.
I didn't do the digging on research and all that, but do you ballpark know how many registered voters we have versus didn't vote? Okay, I figured if anybody knew in this room, it might be.
Well, I don't know where we're at now, but a couple of years ago, we were at 17,000 registered Republican voters.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have just a small portion of those come out for a race, that's what I'm saying. We have the voter base in the Republican Party to really bring out some good numbers.
But they got to get out and vote.
Right. So
weren't we at like 7? What was our voter turnout for this race?
Well, according to what the Secretary of State website was, it said 26%.
Which, that's not good. I mean, I don't know what the numbers traditionally are, but
usually
it's lower.
Yeah, it's usually around 22%.
One brought out.
Yeah. That's better.
Yes.
Yeah.
But still.
20. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Registered voters that can actually vote in 26. I don't know that doesn't look like a good report card to me. No. I'm kind of thinking, should we be around 70%?
That includes every party. So I don't know specifically the Republican.
Oh, I got you. Republican.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
so,
I got you.
But that's what the Secretary website said this morning.
Well,
state website said this morning. So.
Based off history,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to say southeast New Mexico / Chaves County is predominantly Republican as far as voter registered.
Correct.
I'm going to guess. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say that's probably the closest number to actual registered voters in the county. You maybe add another couple thousand for Democrats, but I'm going to guess is probably like 1% to 2% of this county are registered Democrats. I have no idea, but I'm going to guess it's something that low.
I want to say that it was. I can't even remember now off the top of my head, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I was looking at those numbers last night at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And, just like you said, we're at pretty much every race. If you look at the Democratic candidate versus the Republican candidate race, we're like at a 10,000 voter deficit.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to make that up, plus more for cushion.
Sure.
Come November.
So so the next couple months is really, that's the goal here, is to get people to come out and vote here for the general election. Either get registered, or if you are registered, make sure your information's good to go and you're lined up to vote here in November, when they start with early voting in October probably.
Right.
So.
And there's a voter portal where you can verify that your address is correct,
Mm-hmm.
that you're that you are registered for the party that you want to be registered for. A couple of years ago, I encountered a lot of people when I was going door to door for the Trump campaign who said, I never changed my voter registration, but, it just says that I'm an independent. But what they found, several of these people, is when they went to the motor vehicle department to get their license updated, something happened there where they didn't realize what they were doing when, because you can
They
do
checked
that
a
there.
box that they thought they didn't check or something. Yeah.
I don't know exactly how that happens, but
Gotcha.
Anyway, so that's something that if you're not sure what you're registered or if your information's up to date, I know that every once in a while they purge the voter rolls. And
Right.
if you think maybe you haven't voted,
You may got purged by accident there. Yeah.
Check it out.
Well, and I know because of the redistricting going on with the Congress, which is still in a fight, by the way. But
yes.
But I know I got in the mail maybe a week or two ago a new voter registration card with the updated information.
So did I,
I'm
yes.
assuming every registered voter in the county gets something similar. Hold on to that because that's the most accurate info. But if you didn't get one or you already discarded that, I believe if you go to the county's website, to the clerk's office, there's a link to the New Mexico State. I don't know the actual web address off the top of my head, but there's a link there that you can go to the Mexico, and it'll tell you all your voting history, your part, who you registered with, and everything else. But it even goes down to every vote you've made in New Mexico. You can see how you voted, so it's pretty cool. And so you can use that as a resource to check out where you stand as far as your voting status and all that good stuff.
And one of the biggest issues I think that we've come across in door knocking is people don't update their addresses. And so we're going to a door where they no longer live. And, we know they're still voting because they're showing up as an active voter, but
they're voting in wrong precincts and districts because their address is different. Yeah.
And it's important.
Absolutely, yeah, because you're not voting for the people that are technically representing you,
Right.
Especially when you get to the more local elections. You might be voting for the complete opposite city councilor that you should be voting for, or county commissioner, or any of these races. I mean, although in the congressional race, the CD 1, 2, and 3, depending on what part of the city you live in, you're in one of the three now.
Right.
Before it was pretty much you're in two, but now. I got to be honest. I initially thought I was in one on this redistricting. I got my card and said, "Oh, I'm in 3."
Yeah.
I actually thought I was in 1. So So it's a hot mess right now on that side. I
don't think that the maps previous to a couple of weeks ago were readily available. I mean, maybe even a month ago.
Yeah.
You had no idea really where you felt.
Yeah, I kind of just ballpark guessed in my head. I was like, okay, I think I'm in 1, and then I got my card. Like, oh, look at that, I'm in 3. I need to pay more attention to that race, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at the one race and I was like, oh, I'm in 3.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where we're at right now. So please, if you did not vote in the primary yesterday, get registered to vote. If you're already registered, please vote in the general election. And please vote educated and start by coming out to the Chaves County Federated Republican Women's next meeting, which will be next Wednesday, 11:30? 11:30 at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. To eat and all of that stuff, go ahead and RSVP with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. We got to figure out an acronym to say that quick.
You can say CCFRW. That's what we call it. But I mean, even still, that's
not that. It's a mouthful too.
Right.
The Republican Women. I don't know, the Chaves County Federated Republic. But if you want to go out to their Facebook page and you can shoot a message or something if you want more information about the meeting or if you want to RSVP. There is a cost if you want to eat, right?
Yes.
What's the cost for all that?
The luncheon is $16.
Okay, which is good food, by the way. If you have a chance to try the new digs, the new foods and stuff that are fairs that are being offered at the convention center, give it a try. They know what they're doing. They're pretty good chefs over there, and they have some good food.
And I think we're very fortunate here in Roswell and Chaves County. I mean, $16 might seem a lot to some people, but
You bought anything nowadays?
yeah. Well, and if you
I
go,
paid $15 for a cheesy hamburger about 2 days ago, and it wasn't even a good one. You know, $15.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, up north, at the meetings that other Republican women have, they're paying $25 and $50 for
lunch.
Mhm.
And so I feel like it's a deal, and
It actually is in this day and age. I mean, it's just prices are so. Again, you mad about the price of lunch? Vote.
Funny, yeah.
And like you said, hopefully we'll have Mark Ronchetti as the guest speaker here for. But please mark this second Wednesday. Yes, second Wednesday. Second Wednesday on your month.
Third
Wednesday. I'm sorry, the third Wednesday on your month.
Our radio spot is the second.
Yeah,
This is how I try and keep things straight.
Okay, so mark the third Wednesday of the month on your calendars because that's going to be that Wednesday is going to be the Chaves County Federated Republican Women meetings, and it'll be like this from now through.
Right.
Well, it'll be
We have candidates lined up all the way through October.
So you get to learn more about each month. It'll could be a congressional race, could be a more local race or something like that. But it's going to be all people running for office, especially when the ladies get an opportunity to get some of your less sexy candidate positions, like state auditor and attorney. But the problem is these are very important positions, very much power, and it's important to understand who you put in those positions.
Right.
But let's face it, they don't get the sexy run
They're
that
not glamorous.
governor gets or House representative or any of those things. But at the end of the day, they do more good or more damage than sometimes the governor does. So when you get opportunities to meet the people running for attorney general and state auditor and lieutenant governor, these are very important positions that don't get the shine that the other ones do. Please.
A position that's really important that most people don't realize is the land commissioner.
Yeah, very important.
They actually hold a lot of say separate from, the actual governor and all that. It's a whole separate power.
A lot of autonomy there on those kind of things.
And people don't actually realize that position is kind of, like you said, not very glamorous, and not many people think about it, but it has a lot of power.
Yeah, but how many wars start over land? Just saying.
Exactly. Well, mineral rights and everything.
What's the joke about water? Whiskey's for drinking and water's for fighting or whatever it is. Yeah, it's the same thing.
I've not heard that joke.
So please pay attention to those races too here in the coming months because those are very important decisions you're going to make. So.
And just so we can say we've done our part, November 1st is election day.
Yes.
So make a plan to go vote.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Put it on your calendar now. Right now. Yeah.
Absolutely. Get registered if you have not registered. I don't know exactly when early voting will start, but it'll be usually about a month out. It usually start early voting and things like that. It'll be just like yesterday. They're going to have probably 12 dozen different early voting convenience centers throughout the town that day. Usually early voting will be at the clerk's office probably the first couple weeks, and then they'll expand it to usually the mall or something like that about 2 weeks in, and then it'll be just like that. But put it on your, like Margaret's saying, make your plans, get now, and then use this next several months here to solidify your choices.
The county party will have opportunities to, volunteer. We'll help in that effort. So, every candidate in this race can use volunteers here in Chaves County.
Absolutely.
So we're calling volunteers right now. If you're listening and you want to see some changes in our state, we need each and every one of you to help us out.
Yeah, definitely rally the troops. I know we had a lot of great people in the community support the various 5 candidates that were for governor here Well, if your person wasn't the person that ended up winning last night, let's jump on ship for this one and let's rally that support and get it all towards our winner last night, so that there's a fighting chance for an election here in November here where we're getting, because I like I said, I started the show by saying, look, 124,000 Democrats voted yesterday, 116,000 Republicans. It's going to be a dogfight in November.
Yes.
It's no man's. I know people are looking to say, wow, Ron Ketty crushed it last night. Yeah, within his own. Wait till this gets national or gets statewide here. Yep. It's going to be a dogfight. Get in there. So, what else? Is there anything else we want to mention? What if people want to get involved with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women as a volunteer? And by the way, you don't have to be a woman.
Right.
To be a Federated Republic. Now, you're going to be kind of like an auxiliary, but you know, men are allowed to participate too.
Right.
We appreciate men.
That's right. We got to list stuff and, you know, be told what to do.
Well, you know, we have nearly as many men as we do women come to our meetings. So,
sure.
You know, just because people do think, oh, it's just for women. No, you know, we have we have men and women, and nearly as many men as we have women.
But this is it's a women-run, controlled organization. Yeah. That's the mantra of it. And it's kind of like, you know, back in the days, you had the boys' parties and the girls' parties, and this is kind of one of those things. But it's integrated as far as who attends, but as far as, you know, the actual decision, the leaders and all that, that's the women.
Yeah. Well, and the monthly meetings are very informative. So, you know, it is very... You know, it behooves.
Well, the issues that we're talking about are family issues. Yeah. They're not women issues or men's issues, or these are everybody's issues. So, but yeah, it's a woman-run organization, and the men are kind of the support in this one. That's how it works. So come out and be a part of it. If I'm guessing most of your men are married to a spouse that is part of the
sometimes.
I'm thinking most of them.
I'm trying to think of any single. We don't have any single, I don't think, but.
Well, you know what's interesting is that, you know, I look at people that are involved in politics, and generally you have one spouse that's heavily involved, and then you have one that has absolutely no desire to be involved. Well,
I mean, they're the voice of that,
You're right.
They may have their opinions to said spouse at home, but not when everyone's standing in the room with it.
Well, what I mean is, you know, like for instance, myself, my husband's very involved and knows what's going on in the world and locally and stuff, but he doesn't really have. Well, and plus he works out of town, but he really doesn't have the desire to.
He's not on a stump shouting from the rooftops about.
And I look at Christina, and then I look at other people that are involved. You know, you generally have one that's out there and one that, you know, they get drug along a lot.
Well, and it's family roles and things like that. You know, and I'm sure each family's different. Where, you know, it's just the dynamics that maybe the husband's more focused on something here, while you guys are focused on this, and so all right, it's all the dynamics of a family, you know. We all have our roles and things like that, and it's probably just so happens in some of the Chaves County Federated Republican women where the, you know, some of the men are doing some of the behind the scenes roles where it you know, it's just the dynamics of how it works, you know. That's kind of how I just look at it in a world of, you know, I mean, we look at the world we live in and it's crazy and this and designing of roles and this and all is crazy, and I'm like, all right, well, do what you do feel best and all that, but you know, then there's sometimes you look and you want traditional too, because traditional, like when we talk about family values and things like that, you kind of want that regardless of the people in place on insert peg here, you want the love, is everybody getting nurtured, is everybody getting educated, you know, you all want those same things. We just, you know, previously we're like, oh, mom's nurturer, therefore mom should be doing these roles, and dad, and I like that. I like the best of both worlds, where you want some tradition there because that's what we as humans crave, but at the same time, I don't want you. People shouldn't be defined by that either. It's like, no, I'm a woman, therefore I'm a mom. No, not necessarily. Or I'm a role. I'm a dad. I'm like, no, not necessarily. You do what you want to do as long as all the check boxes get checked at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Yeah. How it gets done, whatever.
Yep.
So I think that it's literally a lot of that. And I think we're kind of going into maybe, who knows, the next generations where it's, there isn't any of that. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I hope that, I think it's everybody's hope. I've heard it several times over the past several years that I've been involved. Every new chair of the county party, one of the goals of the Republican women is to get younger people involved. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how we do that. I feel like that's been one of the missions of everybody that's come before us, is to try and do that. But
well, maybe the goal is now, especially since we got the summer months here, obviously age appropriate, but maybe bring your teenage kids to some of these meetings and things, and getting them involved in some of this.
Interestingly enough, the Chaves County Republican Party has started I can't remember what they call it, but
Young Republicans.
A Young Republican.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's,
is that for like youth or for like 20-something?
I think it's like from voting age up to like 34 or something like that. But
I got you.
It's actually in motion.
Okay.
There's
cool.
Some things.
So we're
planned
just
on it.
above that age where we don't qualify as a young Republican.
I would have lied. I said just below. We're almost eligible.
I was like, can you extend it to 38?
21, right in the window.
Yeah.
No, but so I feel like, I don't know. Some of the things that I've noticed, even with my kids, like that college kids that maybe don't really pay attention to a whole lot of things other than like what directly affects them, and I had my daughter who lives in Las Cruces and goes to school there. She's like, this inflation, I'm like, okay, yes, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
something's making an impression.
Sure. Yeah, you're half happy and half like, what are you talking about at the same time? I just saw the time. We're running out.
Oh. Yeah. Well, we've gone on.
But please come on out. The next Chaves County Federated Republican Women's Meeting will be 1 week from today, Wednesday, the 15th, 11:30 a.m. at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. If you don't want to eat or nothing, you can just come on out,
absolutely.
Right? But if you'd like to have lunch and stuff, it's $16. RSVP through the Chaves County Federated Republican Women's Facebook page. Just shoot a message on there or whatever, and we'll get you in there.
Absolutely.
And, come on out and come here, and just mark it on your calendars. Every Wednesday, the third Wednesday of the month, every Wednesday, come on out 11:30 for the meetings, and it'll be after the election too, but you definitely want to catch these ones leading up to the November general election. So, and of course, if you want to learn more about becoming a member of the Chaves County Federated Republican Women as a volunteer, or if you want to get in on some of, like Mark was saying, on some of the campaigns to volunteer and help out, use the Chaves County Federated Republican Women as that foot in the door to get into some of those campaigns and things. So, very good. Do we get it all?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Mike.
Take a breather before you got to turn into your attentions to the next race here, and get a bit of a break before the next round here. So, thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Can you go back to bed now, or do you have to go work now?
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
if she got kids. I know she can't do none of that. But anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Chaves County Sheriff's Deputy James Mason will assume the Division II Magistrate Judge position after winning his primary election contest on Tuesday. Mason was up against fellow Republican Nicole Rogers. Rogers is a city animal services supervisor and a former lieutenant at the Chaves County Jail. No Democrat entered the race. So the primary result means Mason will assume the seat that is now held by Judge E.J. Forat, who chose not to run again. Mason says he will likely retire from the sheriff's office in December before taking office in January. The city of Artesia has approved the annual fireworks restrictions. The restrictions prohibit all missile-type rockets, helicopters, aerial spinners, stick-type rockets, and ground-audible devices. The resolution was approved unanimously and is good for 30 days, so that means it'll have to be revisited again before the 4th of July holiday. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
How come they're not interested in the 574 other riots that happened in the summer of 2020? and preventing it from ever happening again. Why didn't they let Jim Jordan and Jim Banks on the committee? Because they would have asked these questions. That's why they're not on the committee. You know, it's like a big soap opera, big, Broadway production, Hollywood production. They're going to put on a big show, and they're going to want you to conclude Donald Trump wanted this to happen. He encouraged it. He incited it. It's an insurrection. It's sedition. They'll use all the big words over and over and over and over and over again. But they're not going to tell you that he authorized 20,000 troops, up to 20,000, to be called up if needed because big crowds were coming that day and tensions were high in the country coming off a summer of 574 riots. You got to be kidding me.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Elizabeth Warren, they're all attacking America's tech innovators. The left's bill, S-2992, would take away the digital tools small businesses rely on, empower China to beat America in the race for new technologies, and increase the risk of cyber attacks. When liberals attack America's tech innovators, they're really attacking everyday Americans and Main Street businesses. American jobs, America's security, and the online privacy of the American people are all on the line. Why would Senate conservatives support this liberal agenda that threatens American innovation? We need to stop Pelosi, Schumer, Warren, and the rest of the D.C. liberals from taking away our technology and making China stronger at America's expense. Call the U.S. Senate today at 202-224-3121. Tell Senate Republicans to oppose S-2992. ProtectingTaxpayers.org, paid for and authorized by Taxpayers Protection Alliance.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mostly sunny and hot today. Afternoon highs in the upper 90s across the whole area. We may get an afternoon shower around Roswell. Partly cloudy overnight with upper 60s. Heating up a little bit on Friday. We'll be in the low 100s with sunshine and a little hotter for the upcoming weekend. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street has been bouncing between small gains and modest losses today. This ahead of tomorrow's release of inflation data. More people applied for unemployment benefits last week than analysts had been expecting. New applications jumped 27,000, hitting 229,000. The number of applications filed last week hitting a 5-month high. The European Central Bank will hike interest rates next month for the first time in 11 years, followed by another hike in September, as it pivots from supporting the economy during the coronavirus pandemic to squelching raging inflation. The nomination of Michael Barr, President Biden's choice to be the top regulator on the Fed's Board of Governors, has been approved by a congressional committee. It has now been sent on to the full Senate. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Is there anything worse than waking up tired from a sleepless night and walking outside to that 100-degree weather? That burst of heat just makes you feel even more tired. Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and we are the experts in sleep apnea oral appliances. We can help you get the quality sleep you've been missing without that bulky face mask. Wake up refreshed and ready to enjoy those big summer plans. Let us help you sleep better and live better.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental in Roswell or call 622-4455.
You know what happens in the spring. It's cleanup time. And AC&B, HF Sinclair, Navajo Refining, and the Boy Scouts are at it again to help clean up our community. The Scouts will come to your house and haul off items that you need to dispose of and have no way of hauling. The dates for pickup are May 28th, June 4, and June 11. Just call 575-513-0143 and let me know when, where, and what. Take advantage of this free service and let's make Artesia clean and beautiful.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.